guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you the Irish Hotspur, Tottenham Hotspur fan show with co-host Jack Kanicki. Look, no Monday Blues today. Tottenham top of the league for the next 2 weeks. What more do we want? No Monday Blues. I don't want any Monday Blues today. Everyone should be in a great mood. But Jack, my man, how are you?
Keeping really well, David. Keeping really well. We're fresh off of, now being top of the table. Honestly, David, when I was at the grocery store last night, I was kind of, had that, I was wearing the kit, wearing the Hoy beer, kit. I was kind of just waiting for people to just start swarming me, just congratulating me on being top of the table, probably even helping me out with my groceries. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. That's probably typical over here in the U.S. But now, David, 9 points. Top of the table, and now we're also probably getting a right back as well, David. I mean, it all seems too good to be true. We're going to be waking up from the dream probably quite soon, but I don't think it's a good dream, David. It just seems to be the Nuno factor.
Yeah, 100%. And look, I'm just going to read out Fabrizio Romano's where the deal stands. Fabrizio Romano's latest tweet on it says Tottenham and Barcelona have reached an agreement for Emerson Royal on a permanent move for 30 million plus add-ons included. Emerson has accepted Spurs as next club. Still details pending on personal terms to complete the deal. Talks ongoing. And that is where the deal stands at the minute. So I'd say this is one that will probably be completed tomorrow, providing there is no hiccups. So look, hopefully we get that in, and hopefully we can get another one or two across the line, or even get another one or two out. I'll be absolutely happy with that. I have to say, if we do get in that right back and attacking option at right back, which would be brilliant, Jack.
No, it would be brilliant. And as well, I would say with Emerson, a lot of, kind of the football stat hipsters, especially from, Football Daily and such, have really, likened this guy. They really have, thought of him as, one of the best right backs actually in all of La Liga, especially at Real Betis. They were kind of considering him statistically to be one of the best right backs in all of La Liga. So as well, he was featured in Copa America for Brazil. Had a lot of good features for them. So honestly, this is, one of the best up and coming right backs for under 23, David, in all of Europe's top 5 leagues. I mean, this is that Paratici factor, but that's also that factor of who's that guy again that we signed again, David, for, identifying these prospects.
Oh, Chris Perkins.
Chris Perkins as well. So it's it's the Paratici, Chris Perkins, kind of a combo factor there in terms of, finding the best under 23 talent that, we can use in the squad, but as well that maybe we could, sell on for, triple, quadruple, the price that we got them in for, which is just good business for us and good business for Levy.
Yeah, no, look, we need bodies in the door, and I'm just delighted we're not getting in any old bodies. We're just panicking and just bringing them in. We're actually identifying talent and getting them in the door. So I'm happy. I'm happy in that regard. But look, Jack, it is time to kick off our favorite day of the week, our favorite show. Where look, I'll be honest with you, me and Jack can just kind of kick back, relax. We can vibe with you, the Harris Army, the ones that follow us so intently throughout the week. Support us. Always tuning in, getting your comments in. It's just time for us to sit back and meet you and hear your thoughts. So I have to say, Jack, it is my favorite show of the week, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah, David, I know it is. But should we probably, it seems like, the Harris Army is piling in, David. Jelly and Ice Cream is here. Kev Williams is here. It's good to see Kev Williams. Aaron Jubb is in the building as well. Shamu, of course, is in the building as always. Zoe's got that top of the league flow as well. That's what I was talking about, Zoe, earlier. It's that top of the league kind of swagger that we're all probably have. It's a bit of, it's almost kind of like a bit of the spring in the step, David. I did feel even a bit quicker, kind of, gliding through Brooklyn, the other day with the grocery bags. Even I was carrying 2 huge grocery bags, David, and I honestly felt like the Hulk, carrying them, with the strength of being top of the league, I will say as well. Chris, obviously, was very eager getting in there as well. We got some people that are being welcomed in. David Woodford, another David. Welcome to the David Army as well. But yeah, Derek Hutchinson, absolute legend, Derek Hutchinson. The regular is in the building as well. But yeah, big up to the Harris Army. Should we just start bringing on the guests, David?
We have to get these two in. I got Cody. Where are Arsenal in the league? Where are Arsenal in the league? Absolutely love it, Cody. And we have Bob Spur TV. Can't wait. Big love. Big yourself up, Bob. Hope things are well. Hope you enjoyed your training day yesterday, my man. And we'll get 18 Spurs Marco. Hit the like. you know you're going to enjoy. So save time, big yourself up, my man. Really, really do appreciate that. And yeah, look, that's the next thing we need to do. A quick bit of housekeeping, and then we will get on the guests. Is make sure you do smash that like on the stream, guys. We're top of the league. No reason for there not to be 87 likes, but 87 people watching right now. There should be 87 likes. We're top of the league. Everything's good. You know, the Irish Hotspurs in full flow. The channel's not slowing down. We're just going to keep producing content over this international break. Ireland watch along coming on Wednesday as well. So if you want to see an angry Irish man, you know, watching Ireland v Portugal, make sure you do tune in. But look, and as well, if you do want to come on and have your say, and you are a white member or gold member, the link is up in the community section. Sometimes, you know, if it's not as busy in the background, we will open it up to the general people. But channel memberships do take priority, and the link is pinned in the chat if you want to get one. And as well, make sure you get your super chats in, guys. Channel memberships and super chats. It is a great way to support the channel. It's a great way to support myself and Jack. But super chats as well. You know, if the chat does get busy and it does hot up, it just means you skip the queue. As always, we know with the world, you know, unfortunately it's unfair, and not everybody's in a position to be able to super chat this, that, and the other. You know, so don't worry. We will get everyone's comments up on screen. Do not worry about that whatsoever. But just super chats do take priority. We will skip down to them, and then we will get back up to where we were and just keep going through the messages, guys. But look, quickly, Kev Williams in. He says, has Romero and Lo Celso defied the club? I'm fuming. As far as I'm aware, they haven't defied the club. As far as I'm aware, Kev, I think it's just the club haven't stopped them from going. And that's it. That's as far as I'm aware. Sanchez doesn't fall into the same one because his country is amber, which is slightly different. But I don't think they've defied the club. Do you, Jack?
It's hard to say, David. In terms of the players' rights, I do believe the players before the pandemic, they all have, you know, the right to go and play for their international teams, regardless of what the club wants them to do. That, you know, they all reserve that right. But maybe it's been different with the pandemic, you know, considering that, you know, you know, they could be a danger to themselves. You know, they could be a danger to their family members. They could be a danger to, you know, just the populace in general by going to a country where, you know, they could contract COVID and bring it back with them. So it's hard to say. I'm not, you know, an expert on the matter, but that's what I would say is, you know, they do reserve the right, though, to play for their country. It's just in the case of a pandemic, maybe the rules did change.
So there you are, Kev Williams. I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about. I just know brief details. Look, as far as what Jack has said there, I'd take as gospel because I know he knows a bit more than me. But look, big up Kev Williams. Really appreciate the support, my man. But look, let's start getting on the guests. And the first guest it's my man, our man Jack, Brad Matthews. Brad, how are you keeping, man?
I'm good. Everyone remember the band Happy Mondays?
Yeah.
Well, today is the Happy Monday, definitely.
It is.
Really happy Monday.
No, it certainly is. It certainly is. Did yesterday's result get you through work today?
Well, no, it's a public holiday in the UK today. Oh. So I didn't do bugger all basically. So watched a bit of TV and played the guitar for a bit. That's my day really, Annette. So.
I bet you gave the guitar a bit of extra on the strings today, you know, with the light.
Oh yeah. Turn the volume up to 11.
The way you said, "Oh yeah," I feel like there was. Why do I feel like there was steam coming off the streams? But anyway, Brad. Anyway, my man. Of course, you were at yesterday's game. Yep. What were your thoughts?
It wasn't the best performance I've seen Spurs play, but it was a functional performance. And I thought the first 10 minutes, Watford actually came at us for a bit, and I thought, wow, hang on a minute. And Tanganga and Reguilon looked a little bit in trouble, but then they settled into the game, and then from that moment on, I thought they played very well. It was a different sort of game yesterday because the last two games, Man City obviously going to have a lot of possession. We're defending a lot. Same with Wolves, they had us under the cosh. But yesterday it was the other way round. We had to break Wolves down, and they had two banks of four, and it was very, very difficult to break down. And to be fair, the goal was a little bit of luck. The goalkeeper made a bit of an error. I mean, Put it this way, Son's free kick. I mean, he said after the game, I put it into an area, and if it goes in, great. And actually, at first, from where I sit, it's the other end of the ground. I thought Dyer had scored. I thought Dyer had got a touch on it. Yeah. I thought, that's one for the books. But
you shouting
I thought that we defended resolutely because, again, Lloris didn't have much to do. He didn't have many shots to save. And if you look at our 3 defensive performances, he hasn't had a lot to do. And I thought that, defensive. I actually felt a bit more stressed going in with 1-0 down because when we were missing 1-0 up, we were missing chances. But then I sort of thought, well, that's probably because against Man City, if Man City score, you think, okay, a draw, that's a good result. But against Watford, you think, no, we've got to win this.
Yeah.
And I thought we created a few more chances in the second half. We should have had the game buried by the end anyway. But it was a functional performance. We're still lacking that little bit of creativity to break those sort of teams down. But they like they have all season, they kept at it and kept at it and kept at it. And because we're defending a higher line, we never put ourselves under pressure, which we did last season when we were 1-0 down. So a functional performance, but it's 3 points, and that's what you want. At the end of the season, you won't think, oh, those 3 points well deserved. Right. So that's my thoughts on the game.
And come here as well. Look, from what me and Jack seen through the TV cameras, Højbjerg was absolutely amazing yesterday. His passing was insane. It got to the point where the guy was just gliding across the pitch, walking on water, as they would say. And his passes, no matter what way he passed the ball, whether it was flicking it, dinking it, it doesn't matter. It was unbelievable, and especially his passing that was splitting the centre back and their full back, a couple of times. How good was it? Of course, because we all know when you're at the ground, you do tend to get a bit of a different view because you can see the whole pitch. How good was Højbjerg's passing?
He was immense. He was my man of the match. Him and Sanchez, my man of the match. He was immense. He was everywhere. And he now, as you probably noticed, he gets forward a lot more now. He carries the ball a lot more. He's got a lot more skill than people give him credit for, I think. And he was just everywhere, and he's just got that that spirit. And that sort of, never say die attitude. But no, he was very, very good to stay. And you can tell how good a player is by how many times you go, look at that, and with him I was doing it all the time. And a big shout out for Sanchez. He's taken a lot of flack in recent seasons, but if he can keep this sort of form up for the rest of the season, then maybe we don't need to sign another centre back. But he looked very good yesterday. He's very good in the air. I think it's just his positional sense at times last season was lacking. And his judgment, but this time he seems to have, put it down to Nuno's coaching, I guess. But no, he was everywhere yesterday. He had a very, very good game. I thought the team played well. One thing I did think, I thought Tanganga yesterday he did have a poor game, but as a right back, I thought, I felt that we still need cover at right back. I still felt that we've got Tanganga and Doherty, and you're presuming that Aurier is going to go. And I'm thinking, I think we need cover there because he's only a young lad, and young lads will have good games, they'll have bad games. And now that I hear that we look like we're signing this Emerson, well, then maybe that is that problem solved. I mean, I would have liked Tomiyasu because he can play both positions, but this Emerson guy, he looks, from what I've heard anyway, I don't know a lot about him, to be honest with you, but he looks like he's quite a good prospect. And I'm sort of thinking that if you remember when, I'm not sure whether it's under Pochettino or whether we already signed them, but we signed Walker, didn't we? We signed Walker and Norton, and we had Rose as well coming through. And Walker and Rose went on to become the best fullbacks in Europe, I thought. And now we've got Reguilon, who looks pretty good. His defensiveness is a lot better now. And if this Emerson Royale is as good as people are saying, well, then maybe we're going to get those 2 really good fullbacks that any team that are going to win things will need. Yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more. And just quickly, one more question. I'll just take this quick super chat here first, and I have one more question for you, and then I'll let Jack come in with questions. Sorry, Jack, I'm hugging all the questions. I just have to get this one out.
We haven't spoken to Brad, David. It's understandable. Especially, Brad's at the games, especially at the recent one, so it's good to get, the insight from someone that was really there, to see some of the beautiful displays from, the likes of Sanchez and Højbjerg, like we were talking about.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And Kev Williams says, I would love to know the last time, if any, when Spurs were top and the Goons were bottom of the table, lads. It's never happened before. This is the first time it's ever happened. just to let you know. So enjoy it, Kev. Enjoy it, every single bit of it. That's what I say. And I hope Dembele gets himself into the team. Look, it does look like he's staying. He's just not committed. Honestly, it's not the night where it's my opinions or I go off. So, Jack, I'm going to let you handle this one.
No, it's a bit of a Tanguy, kind of I have just too many soft spots for Tanguy, myself, I must add, and so I do recognize my bias, and hopefully maybe Kev Williams, do let me know if you're kind of in the same boat, or you find yourself apologizing, for Indom Burgers a little too much. But with Tanguy, I mean, I said it in the, Kaniki answered me, there's this potential that he could actually all of a sudden, meet the fitness requirements of, Nuno, kind of come back into the side, be a good influence on the side. And then possibly if, Dele doesn't step up in terms of the finishing department or the creative department, could take that spot from Dele in that midfield three there. And that would actually, considering also the competition of Gio, Tanguy and Dele, definitely a lot of, like-minded players there, a lot of similar players for that position. Who knows? It could be Tanguy. He could come back into it. But let me know, Kev, if you're kind of in the same boat where you're apologizing for Indom Burgers a little too much, like I am. But yeah, I would love to see that happen. But Dele, I do also wish Dele the best.
Big up, Kev. Really appreciate the support, my man. Really appreciate it. I just couldn't take this one. Everyone knows how I feel about Endon Bellinor. I've been extremely let down by him. I was calling him Endon Baller the whole lot, but he's just let me down, Kev. But big yourself up. And my dad's in here as well. He says 3 clean sheets, not very Spursy. And Jack, he's probably sitting at home with steam coming off his ears listening to you there. He sits in the same boat as me. But look, back to Brad. It's all about Brad right now. Braddy boy. Look, when it comes to Harry Kane, a lot of mixed opinions of his performance yesterday. Some people saying he was anonymous. I actually think, he wasn't as anonymous as people think. If you look at the way he was dropping deep, picking up the ball and spraying the passes, just because he makes it look, some of these hard passes look so easy. I think people are maybe expecting more and more of, which they should. He's placed them demands on himself. What do you think of Harry Kane's performance yesterday? I'd just be interested to see what fight was around the ground.
Yeah, I just think to coin a boxing term, he's just a little bit ring rusty. He's only been training, hasn't been training as much as the other players. He hasn't been playing as much as the other players. And I think it will take him just a bit of time, as it will any player, to get into the groove. I don't think he had a bad game. I think he did some really good things yesterday. So I think you're right in that people say, oh, he was awful. But no, he wasn't. He was just doing what Harry Kane does, but not at 100%. I thought he was just needs a few more matches to play, and he'll get it back. I mean, we were all talking last week about, does Kane make the team? And you think, well, even though we've got to where we are without him playing until Watford, he's one of the best strikers in the world. You can't not have him in the team if he's fit.
Yeah.
So you have to play him, and Son you have to play. So it's just really who plays alongside them in the other spot. But no, I thought yesterday it's just a little bit ring rusty, but that'll come as he plays more games and that sort of thing. I mean, he's had unlike the other players, he's had a international tournament as well that he's played, the whole tournament. And and he's just gone on a break and then come back. And also, that mental stress that's been going about the transfer, that's got to weigh on your mind. You wouldn't be human if that didn't. But I think he's the sort of player. I mean, I love the tweet you put out last week, whether it's from him or whether it's his advisors. I think personally it was from him. So I think he loves the club. And I think he will give 100%, and I think he'll be back to normal Kane. And if Kane and Son together again, that looks really good for the future, definitely.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I told you, Jack, the old lad wouldn't be happy with you here. Look.
No, definitely. I will say, Dave, he was complimenting, the new flat caps. He was asking, if it was a haircut that you got there, with the new flat caps. But as well, I get, I have no defense for Tanguy. Anybody can shame me for it. I just have a soft spot for him. Can't take it away. You can't take it out of me. It just, once a player wins you over, David, you'll acknowledge, the outside, opinions, especially when they're this true. But, you still can't take away the love. But as well, Goonery Clips here saying, or G Clips here saying, Goonery Clips and obscuring a parody between the Gooner Eclipse definition and obscuring a parody between two football clubs in the same division, which typically occurs in North London. No, absolutely. It's only come, right? Like an eclipse. It only comes, maybe every 30, 40, 50 years, like an eclipse. And honestly, that's kind of hilarious. I was a bit confused because his name is even G Eclipse. So David, honestly, what a super chat. What a legend. Absolutely. David, are you going to start using this new terminology, this new definition?
I'll be honest with you. Look, it's probably a bit too intelligent for me. I'm not that intelligent, but what I will say is this guy clearly has humor. I know what an eclipse is, and I know how often or how not very often they come around. So I absolutely love the banter and love the super chat, my man. And look, so far, I think we're going to have to bring back out super chat of the day and give it to him because we do like funny super chats, especially at the expense of Arsenal. And what I will say to you, if you have any more in the locker, send them in. Look, even if you don't, you can't super chat, just put them in the comments. I'll get them up. I enjoyed this one. Big yourself up. I appreciate it.
Total eclipse of the goon.
Eclipse of the goon.
Brad's loving life today. Anyway, he's cracking the jokes. He's loving it. But Jacko, your questions, my man.
Yeah, my question for Brad is just, Brad, since you were at the game, just quickly, let me know, were you kind of maybe after that first 10 minutes where it looked a little, I don't know how you put it, but yeah, just a little unsure. It felt like, there was only one team that was going to win it, maybe after that first 10 minutes. Do you feel like, once we went 1-0 up, you kind of weren't really too worried, despite, they could get a goal out of nowhere, equalize and, make us drop, 2 points. But did you feel like it was all kind of under control despite it, being only 1-0?
Yeah, I think the first 10 minutes, because I was surprised that Watford came at us. I thought, oh, hello. And I don't think we were ready for it, to be honest. I thought we were quite surprised. And to be fair, Moon Boots made a great heading, that header. I mean, at first I thought that Sissoko was going to, I thought, oh no, Sissoko's going to score in the first minute. But he laid it off, and that was really well defended. Not sure whether Lloris was behind it. He might have saved it, but no, it was a great piece of defending by Moon Boots.
Please tell me you call him Moon Boots at the ground.
But at 1-0, you see, the problem is, you could dominate a team at 1-0, but it only takes one piece of brilliance, one
against
error.
The run of play. Yeah,
exactly. And like any game, I felt that we needed a second goal, definitely.
Oh, we absolutely do.
And that would have killed the game off. That would have been it. And we had chances. Unfortunately, I didn't really see the Delhi chance when he put it wide, because everyone stood up in front of me. So the ball went through to Mori, went through to Kane, and as Kane scored the ball, everyone stood up in front of me and sat down at the ball, and I just saw the ball going wide. I thought, what happened, sort of thing. So, I mean, that's the beauty of live football. You have those sort of moments, So, but yeah, we had that chance. We had the one that went across the goal that their defender got the boot on, and it would have been a tap-in for Kane. And then, of course, Harry Kane's shot that the keeper saved. So we had chances to sew the game up. And as I said before, they never really looked much of a threat. We seem to have that final third sewn up when we're defending now, which is a lot better than it was last season. Because, Lloris, there was one little moment, I think, where it was defended in the second half. I think they got a shot and it was blocked. And then the ball, I think there's one bit with the ball and Lloris caught it. But, and I thought that, we weren't. But, at 1-0, there's always that possibility. So, we will remember, against West Ham last season, it was like 3 possibilities that happened at the same time. So, Lanzini strike. And that's what you fear after last season. You fear a Lanzini strike, sort of thing. So,
and then speaking of, but then again, that defensive assuredness that we're almost showing. Do you feel like if you had to pick between Moon Boots and Sanchez over the last 3 games, who do you feel like has been the best performer? And if you had to drop one of them for Romero, which one would you drop?
I would keep Sanchez at the moment. I think he's a technically better player than Moon Boots. And also, you've got that when Romero comes in, you've got that language between them. They both, I presumably, speak Spanish. So you've got that communication there, which I think is really important. I did notice maybe it happened last season. Obviously, when you're watching on TV, it's a lot different. But where I sit, you've got quite a direct view of when we're defending. And it did look like Dyer was keeping the line and controlling that line. And it looked like they sort of knew what they had to do. whereas I sort of never got that impression last season. So whether Dyer has an influence there. But at the moment, I mean, I'm thinking about this. I saw the super chat about had the players, gone against the club's wishes. I think Nuno was saying in the interview, he said, well, there's not a lot you can do. If they want to play for their country, you can't stop them. I feel that at the moment we've got where we are without Romero or the other guy. What's his brain thing here? Lo Celso. Gee, how can I forget Lo Celso? Without Lo Celso. But so if they do have to go into quarantine and that, we've got where we are without them. So it's not so much of a loss than I feel Sanchez would be. If Sanchez comes back and has to quarantine, although someone said it's an amber country, then you got Dyer and someone else. And let's not forget, we've still got Joe Rodon on the sidelines, who once he gets to fitness, is a decent player to have. And Tanganga can play centre back as well. So we've seen to have a selection of players there. But yeah, at the moment, I would go with Sanchez that's keeping his position. But no, fair play to Dyer. He has played well this season. The defence have.
Just on Eric Dyer, do you call him moon boots at the ground I
do actually. Yeah, I do. I was doing that yesterday. What on moon boots? So.
Is there anyone else saying moon boots around the ground?
No, I'm still waiting for a reaction from someone around me. What's this moon boots business?
They're all probably sitting there laughing at you, thinking it's hilarious. I do have another question to get into next. Just take Kev Williams' super chat. Endo baller glues the ball to his foot. Yeah, but he also should be gluing lettuce to his hands. Instead of cheeseburgers, but it is what it is. At the end, look, I get what you're saying. I am along the lines with you guys that there is an absolute player in there, an absolute baller in there. But the fact of the matter is, 4 managers, same results. He doesn't have it up here. He does not have it up here. And I think that's his downfall. I hate to say it. And look, could very well be the case. We let him go somewhere else and he absolutely thrives and become world class. But it's just not going to happen at Tottenham unless he changes his attitude. But look, I do see where you're coming from, though, Kev. I do. I fully do. I was on the train. Don't get me wrong. I was on the train, but they had to kick a few passengers off. Because he wasn't performing. Unfortunately, I was one of them. I'm sorry, Kevo, but I do get what you're saying, my man. But Brad, my man. So, transfer window. So far, do you think we've had a good and a bad window?
We still need this right back. Before Sanchez and Dyer suddenly discovered they actually can play, we needed another centre-back. I'm not so sure that is as important now because, as I said before, we've got lots of players that can play there. The creative midfield is the one area where we've never replaced Ericsson and where, ironically, Ndombele is probably the one player that cannot unlock a defence in that respect. I think Dele Alli's got it in him, but the role he's playing at the moment means that he's not going to have that many opportunities to do that sort of thing. I noticed he was playing a lot further forward in the second half. When they lined up in the second half, he was almost behind the strike, almost like he was playing a number 10 role. But yeah, I think that, that creative midfielder, which at the moment looks like we're not going to pursue. And as usual, and I hope I'm wrong, we seem to have left it really, really late in the transfer window. I have a prediction now. I have a prediction. I think that Traore could be the Moussa Sissoko of the transfer window. Remember we signed Moussa Sissoko for 30 million at the last minute, and that sort of came out of the blue. I have a feeling this might be Traore. I'm not saying whether I agree with the signing or not, as I'm sure there's lots of different opinions on that. But I think this could be because obviously Wolves are hanging out for a big price.
Sounds like we're making the Champions League final again, Brad Matthews.
Well, yeah, exactly. Maybe. But yeah, it's I think that could be the surprise. That could be the moment in the window, if there is one, that we suddenly find 50 million from somewhere, because he wants to play for us. So it's all there. It's actually quite interesting. When I was at the ground yesterday, and if anyone on here is from Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, why do you close the ground whilst the other game is still going on? Because I was in there with my mate Steve, watching the game in the first half, having a beer in the bar, bars open, but then half-time comes, the bar shuts, and they get everybody out. They only have to show an extra 45 minutes of that game. We would have stayed there, watched the end of that game, the Wolves-Man United game, had a few more drinks, as would everyone else, and they'd probably made money out of it. So I don't know why they do that. But what my point was going to be is that as we were watching the game, whenever Traore got the ball, everyone was watching it went, "Oh," like in anticipation, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Sort of thing, and he threw, and that pass wasn't that bad, sort of thing, It's quite interesting. And then, unfortunately, when we went to the number 8 pub next door, the screen they had out in the beer garden kept breaking down, so we didn't really see much of the second half. But I think Traore might be the surprise in the window. If Emerson Royal signs, then we've done the right back. The creative midfield. A striker. We need another forward. I don't know what we're going to do there because there's not really many people available. But last season we had Vinicius, and whether you liked him or not, at least he was there. This time we haven't got a backup for Harry Kane, as has been the case of many, many, many seasons before. And that's a bit of a worry. So I'm not sure what they can do there, whether they can... We can't lump it all on Dane Scarlett, no matter how good he is or will be. We need to get some sort of, backup for Kane. I can't see we're being linked with anyone. I think we were linked with that Ed Warner, the Celtic player.
Oh, anywhere. It looks like he's on his way to Palace.
To Palace. When I saw a tweet tonight, and I sort of didn't read it correctly. I thought, looks like we're going to sign Eduardo from Palace, and I suddenly read it a bit further. Oh, hang on a minute, no. But yeah, I think we need a backup. There's talk of a midfielder at Brighton, but I can't see that happening. Sasuma, whatever his name is.
Oh, Basuma.
Yeah. I think the Kane backup is. That's probably that. And but I don't think the creative midfield player is going to happen because now they're going to keep Dembele. Got to pay his wages as well, and he potentially is that player. But I'm just wondering about him. I just wonder whether because he's got his mates in Aurier and Sissoko, whether Nuno has seen that as a negative impact on the rest of the team. And now Sissoko's gone, and hopefully Aurier, maybe he might sort of settle down, and he might sort of be given the ultimatum. Well, you're still a Tottenham player. Your mates have gone. Even if you want to leave in January or the end of the season, you've got to play well, so someone will want to buy you. So
definitely, Brad.
That might happen. I'm not saying it will. It might happen, but I'm sort of in between. I change from day to day with Ndombele. One day I want to sell him. Next day, oh no, let's keep him. So, for managers, you do wonder.
Yeah, definitely, Brad. But Brad, we really appreciate it. Is there any maybe kind of last, parting words, maybe, for the Harris Army, anything about Nuno, about any of the players you saw, any parting words for the Harris Army?
I have to say, it was funny during the game. Danny Rose was warming up. And first of all, Mr. Sissoko got a really good round of applause, as did Harry Kane. When Harry Kane's number was, it was a cheer. It was a name. When Rose was warming up, the crowd started singing, Danny Rose, Danny Rose. And I said to the lady who sits next to me, I said, I don't mind the crowd singing that, but I would rather we were 4 or 5-0 up before we sing that,
Yeah.
And then, of course, that moment in the second half where Moussa Sissoko would hit that shot over the bar, it's almost like a parting gift from him, sort of, thanks for everything.
Good souvenir. It was a great souvenir, I bet.
A great round of applause. But one of the really nice things of yesterday was at the end of the game, Rose and Mr. Sissoko and Morris did a lap of honour on the pitch with the crowd singing their names, and I thought that was really good because let's face it, Danny Rose was an excellent servant for Tottenham Hotspur, and he just unfortunately got a knee injury at the time, and that sort of ended his Tottenham career. And he was an excellent performer, so I thought that was really nice. And also, Moussa Sissoko had a couple of really good seasons, and as you said, we got to the Champions League with him, and he was a very good player for us for a couple of seasons. And even under Mourinho for a little while there, he was, but then he suddenly sort of lost form, and then now you think he's not really needed in the team. You got Skip coming through, and
definitely,
you think, but I thought that was really nice of the crowd singing his name. I don't know what the Watford fans made of it because he was actually going in front of the Spurs fans before he got to the Watford end. So
they won't mind. They won't mind at all. They've got a good left back, so they do, Brad.
Yeah, but I thought that was really, really good. And right near the end, I think Kane might have had a chant, or Kane might have. They started singing "He's one of our own," and that was probably the only time. But the whole crowd was singing that right near the end, and I thought, that's good. It's it's going to take a bit of time because, no matter how 100% Kane is, it's still got that thing in the back of their mind, he did want to go. So it'll take the time for the crowd to come round to that full 100% Harry Kane sort of following. But yeah, that was really pleasing to see that at the end of the game where they all started, or near the end of the game where they all started singing that. But
Brad, all they need is me back in the stadium, lad. All they need is me back.
It's the atmosphere. It's just absolutely brilliant. It's just you really do miss it. And again, we had 57,000 people there yesterday. And when the whole stand, that south stand and the whole stand, it just reverberates. It is so loud, and if you're a player, that's got to be inspiring. It's got to be. But no, it's great. That's going to be really really helpful for Tottenham. But also, let's not forget that's going to be helpful for a lot of other clubs as well. Like your Liverpools who lost 5 or whatever at home.
Yeah, Brad.
With their crowd, your Man Uniteds and that sort of thing. Probably not at Arsenal because there's no noise there anyway. But
well, look, Brad, we have a lot.
Covered a lot, Brad. We covered a lot.
We're going to have to get them on, but no, absolutely loving the insight from around the stadium, man. Absolutely loving it. And look, when I get over, I need to get myself into that wall.
Well, as I said, there's a beer waiting for you when you come over. Just let me know, and we'll organise a beer, definitely.
No, I'll be buying you the beer, my man.
I appreciate you, Jack. When you come over,
big up, Brad. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Brad. See you, my man.
Cheers, guys. Have a great night.
See you, Brad.
Thank you, Brad.
Enjoy the guitar. Brad off to play a few songs on the guitar now, so he is absolutely loving life. Big up, Brad. What an absolute channel legend. Look, we will get on the next guest, Jack, and it's a channel favourite, and they're taking Daniel's place. Daniel had to go, but this person has asked him to come on next. And look, after last night, I have to say there's no way you can refuse. But look, it's the channel legend, channel favourite. It's Endom, Ellie.
Yay.
How are you?
Hey. Hello. My new scarf, boys.
What, did you pick it up the other night?
Yeah, it was £5 only in the Spurs shop.
Oh, that's a deal.
There you go. Not bad. Who knew? Maybe Brian Daigle's probably fuming, to see a deal like that, in the Spurs shop.
You know what I mean? He'll kill me for going in there.
But what was it like at the ground, Ellie? Did you kind of, I think Brad had some interesting takes. What was it like? Were you kind of just full of confidence even when we went 1-0 up? Were you a bit worried? Were you a bit worried that they would kind of equalize, or were you kind of just absolutely floating, just feeling top of the league?
No, I was confident that we were going to hold tight because we've been really defending well. Yeah. And I think Sanchez has been playing out of his skin, and Tanganga, brilliant. And even Dyer, he got his fat frame in front of the goal. Luckily, he's a bit beefy, otherwise it wouldn't have hit him. He's playing well, actually, but his passing's a bit suspect. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, I feel like it was, I feel like it was a bit better today in terms of him getting forward. But yeah, his final ball into the box was always a bit lacking. Who was your man of the match, Ellie? Was it, it's probably, the one dealing and wheeling from the midfield.
I love Højbjerg. He played fantastic. His passing was immense, and his vision as well. He was doing the one-touch passes, and he was doing the cutting through passes, and he was very accurate. I think he only lost the ball once. I counted. He might have been twice, but I'll give him the once because I don't want to say twice. Because that's bad stats, isn't it, Jack?
No, I think I'm waiting for the stats from Højbjerg. Honestly, the balls he was playing.
I think it was just the once because I watch Højbjerg anyway because I like the way he orchestrates the defence. And he goes, you go there, and then he's doing all his hand actions. He's fantastic.
He also, I think he leads in nutmegs on our team as well. Ellie. He's turning into. I think he's a Højbjerg genio this season. But definitely Jiminy here with very, very, very heartwarming super chat. I will say. And he says,
very nice.
David, do you want me to read it, or would you like to read it, David?
No. Go on. I'll read it. Go on. He says, my mum's currently in hospital and I've had a hard night. So this live is definitely a mood booster. Thanks for being a good outlet that cheers me up. Look, first and foremost, my man, I hope something is okay. Everything's okay with your mother. Look, your parents, everyone knows, the love that you have for your parents and everything else. And it's unconditional. And to lose one, it's definitely look. I'm lucky enough I haven't lost one, but you know what I mean. It's definitely a hard thing to happen. I just hope everything's okay, and I hope you're okay, my man. Look, on my email, my Twitter, and everything is there. Even if you just want to chat, or if we can exchange numbers and you just want to chat, or over the phone or anything like that, lad. You want me to sit there and do a little comedy set to cheer you up, no problem. Just just get in contact. Not at all a problem, lad. I'm at nothing for the evening after this. So no problem at all. And I'm glad that we can sort of cheer you up in any sort of way. Jack, would you like to say something to Jiminy?
No, Jiminy, I think exactly, beautifully said, David. Beautifully said. Exactly what David just said, Jiminy, is the same for me. Please, please, please reach out. Down in the description below, you can find her email, you can find her Twitter, however it's best to communicate. Please, please, please reach out if you just need somebody just to distract you, somebody to just lay some thoughts with, just somebody just to connect with. I know it's really tough, especially right now, considering we're all still in a pandemic as well, of course. So really, Jiminy, really, I do hope that the Harris Army brings you a bit of a home tonight. I can already tell in the comments they are, as well. The Harris Army is a true home to everybody. It's honestly while we may be the most intense, we also are the most intense and also the best ways as well in these sort of ways. So please, Jiminy, I hope the Harris Army and everybody, please pick up Jiminy. I know he's an absolute legend of the Harris Army. And so, Jiminy, I do hope that, I wish the best for you. I wish the best for your mother as well, Jiminy. I do hope that you have, a bit more of I would say, an accompanied night. I hope we can help you and make the night a bit better.
A lot of love in here for you, Jiminy. A lot of love in here for you, my man. But look, let's cheer him up. Ellie, I am going to rat you out to Brian Daigle, and it's just to cheer Jiminy up. But Brian, Ellie bought a scarf in the club shop for £5.
£5. This is the proof. This is the proof. Look. Do you see that, Sal?
It's a bargain, to be fair.
I know. £5. I thought one is £1 and 2 pence.
I'm sure he didn't write it himself. If he was, it's just maybe he wasn't in the office that day, Ellie. He probably would have raised it, a few, but he probably was just taking a day off from it.
Well, I only went into the Spurs shop because there was a handsome fella going in, so I just followed him. Don't tell the husband.
No, TT won't be too happy at all, but he's probably enjoying life because
I'm only looking. I'm not a touching.
He's probably just loving life because QPR are winning anyway. But anyway, look, let's get on to the transfer window. What positions do you want us to strengthen in before it closes? And do you think we have had a good window or a bad window? Let's take it away. This is your moment.
I think the strengthening, we need the right back, because I think Tanganga would be really good next to Sanchez, and we drop Dyer. Even though, because his passing is pretty suspect, isn't it? And it's pretty dire. So I think, we need the right back, a nice speedy right back who can get forward, because we've got Reguilon on one side. We had a right back who can, I know Tanganga can do it, or maybe we play Tanganga right back and get another centre back to partner Romero and have because Sanchez, he's playing well at the moment, but I'm not always trusting him for the whole season because he's always got that gaff in him, hasn't he? He's a bit like Aurier. I'm just hoping that he has, sorted himself up. You never know.
What did you make of his passing ability being in the stadium? Because a lot of people are saying he's pinging it. He's kind of, able to. He's just improved his passing ability. Being in the stadium, Ellie. Would you kind of agree? Can you tell?
I'm telling you, he looks like a well-oiled engine. He's fantastic. He gets down that wing, and they won't go near him because he's so big and strong. They'll just let him go past because otherwise they're going to get hurt trying to tackle him. He's got one mind to get forward as well, which I love. And did you see that cutback he done when the ball nearly went out? Yeah. He cut it back. It's fantastic. Yeah. When you see that in full life, it's so much better. When you see it on telly, it looks good, but when you see it live, it's fantastic. What a player! We've got another Ledley King, but with even more speed. When he's getting forward, maybe not getting back, but getting forward, he's so fast. The breath of fresh air.
He is. He's absolutely brilliant. And bringing in Emerson, if we do get the deal over the line, which is rumored likely it is, it is going to be good to have that option there because, look, although Tanganga's not going to be dropped right away for him, you know, it just, if something does happen to Tanganga with his injury problems, it is good to have Emerson there rather than having to rely on Mr. Hollywood or Bobo the Clown.
Yeah, and you don't want him to have burnout either because he's only a young player. You need to rest him as well to save him for the bigger matches because I think this team, I think it's the most exciting team and the most exciting start to the season, hasn't it? And it's like we've got some new spirit in us. And you see when they scored, they all gathered round and they all hugged at the end of the match. It's lovely to see.
Yeah.
There's a camaraderie there, isn't there?
Yeah,
Team
I think
spirit.
There definitely is. Do you feel like can you tell that obviously, there weren't fans in the stadium last season, but do you feel like, there is some sort of, different, let's say, vibe in the dressing room or just a different, sense of camaraderie, like you said, that maybe there was before? Yeah,
and there's a definite better connection from the crowd because they're seeing positive vibes from the team and they're all working as a team and the crowd gets lifted from it because you're really rooting for them. Even Dyer, like Moon Boots, like Bradley was saying, a lot of people were saying it yesterday because they're picking it up from the Harris Army.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, you want the crowd to cheer your club on anyway, but sometimes the Spurs fans can get a bit impatient and fickle. But not this season. What I've seen, they're like all out behind the team, like Nuno said, and you can really feel the positive love coming out, oozing out of everybody. Everybody's smiling. I know we're winning, and we're only winning 1-0, but it's still there's something special in the air at White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're getting Potch vibes there, I say. Potch vibes?
Yeah.
Love it. Well, look, I better read out this super chat for you, Ellie, here from Brad Matthews. Big yourself up, Brad.
I like that, Ellie
Levy. Ellie Levy has been in contact. The price was a mistake and an invoice will be payable immediately.
At least he made a fiver out of me, eh?
Yeah, right.
Make sure you photocopy it and send it on to Brian. I know Brian likes to send a few emails here and there.
Send him this stream.
Hopefully you can pay it in installments like all of our transfers, Ellie, but Ellie as well. Do you feel like the back four was kind of actually maybe the strongest if you were to look at the midfield, the attack, and then the back four? To me, felt like the back four was actually, our best performers in the last game. And you wouldn't have probably said that in the other games.
Yeah, but do you know what? I think Romero is going to be a fantastic addition. And even if he drops Dyer, it'll do him a favour because then he can practice his passing in the training. Because his passing's been really poor and he nearly let us get a goal against Wolves, didn't he? He gave the ball away and they just sprung on us. And luckily, Lloris was good for it. He was up for it and he saved it. It was a poor shot by Traore against Wolves, but he's done quite a few bad passes. And why is he taking the long free kicks? He's only scored one free kick in his life. Leave it to Harry Kane or Sonny or someone else, for God's sake.
I think we should give it to Sonny.
Saying that.
I think we should give maybe more of them to Sonny. Sonny might not be. To be honest, he used to not really have the curlers, in his wheelhouse or in his pocket, But now I feel like he does, considering, his deliveries have been insane. From the corners, from obviously the goal he scored. So we should probably let him take some of the free kicks, and then
Jack, you're right.
Maybe interchange him and Harry Kane. And I know a lot of people don't want to see that, but maybe give Harry Kane one more opportunity.
Sonny's been watching Ericsson videos.
Yeah, it must be.
He has, hasn't he? I told him to watch old players like Modric, Ericsson, Van der Vaart. They can learn. They can learn how to pass. Even Højbjerg, he's up to his game this season, getting more forward, and then he's got the energy and the engine to get back anyway. So even if he's more forward, like I said, he is like 5 players, isn't he? He really is.
Yeah.
I know I reiterate that, but he is.
I think he took a page out of Modric's book, the other night, turned into Højbjerg, or Højbjergic. But
We got to add the IC onto his name, Hojbjerg.
Hojbjerg. Yeah, for sure.
Actually flying for him today, so he is.
I thought he was more of a Hojbjerginho, you know, with the Tuckers, but
Croatia.
I think he was watching the Modric, you know, highlight reels before the game. That makes complete sense, actually, considering how he played. It only makes sense. But Jiminy here with yet again another super chat. Jiminy, really big yourself up. He says, my only worry is that it's too early to be top of the league. Last season, we jumped up early and fell down late and finished up in a subpar position. That's true. You know, Jiminy, in a way, you know, we're probably in a similar position that we were last time. But at the same time, I would say it just feels different than it did last season. But that's, you know, that is just a totally, you know, emotional feeling that, you know, no fact or anything behind that. But for me, it just feels like a different season. It just the vibes are different from the players. There seems to be more camaraderie, like Ellie was saying perfectly. I think Skippy, you know, is that much of an addition. I would say just him being in the squad is just that much of a change, but lots of other things as well. But I do agree, Jiminy, you know, that is a bit of reality, you know, brought back to us. But definitely big yourself up, though, Jiminy. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you're keeping well. And I do hope that you saw, you know, the love from the Harris Army as well.
And I'll big yourself up, Jiminy. Look, I get it, you know, but look, just live in the moment. There's plenty of times to have this later on down in the season, my man. Look, allow yourself to just live in the moment. We're top, Arsenal at the bottom. You know, there's plenty of times to be worried about falling down. I get it. I would be of the similar opinion myself, but like Ellie was explaining, I do think there is a different feel around the club right now. And we were only 5 points off top four last year, and we were absolutely abysmal. So there is every hope, and I have every optimism this season. Jiminy, come on, my man. Let's just live in the moment. Me and you together. Pick yourself up, my man. Pick yourself up. Absolute love it. But look, Ellie, you know what you're going to do now? What you're going to fill your time with over the international break? No Tottenham Hotspur. We know how much you love, you love Tottenham and everything else. There's no Tottenham. What are you going to do?
I don't know. I'll have to go into hibernation, into my room, and just watch X games. You know, like I like watching the 1960s team and the 1950s team because they were fabulous. You know, I was watching it today actually, the 1950s team to verse up because I'm pretty hot on the 50s team. But, you know, look, the more you watch and the more you watch the players play in every game, you know, there's quite a lot of footage now. So it's nice. Whereas before, say 2 or 3 years ago, there wasn't so much footage on YouTube, but people started posting the videos, which is nice. So I'll do that. And then I'll probably go down to the seaside, you know, have a bit of splash my feet in the sea, and then do a few other things with my family, maybe play a few games of golf. I don't really like real golf. I just like crazy golf. You know, I just fill my time with Spurs usually, but other than that, the season.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because you're so infatuated with the club. You know, you must be bored on the international. Bringing it back round to Tottenham, Ellie. You know, look, how far do you really think we can push it? I know I'm getting carried away. I can't help it. That's just, you know, the Irish in me as well. But how far do you realistically think we can go this year?
I'm with you. I'm optimistic because I don't want to be pessimistic about our club. Look, we're playing out of our skin. All right, we beat Man City. That was a fantastic result. We played Wolves and Watford that we were expected to win. Realistically, we were expected. Now we've got to push on. The games coming up now after the international break, we've got to win them. We can't take our foot off the pedal because at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we send out a message to the rest of the teams that we're a team to be reckoned with. Because I was watching Dion Dublin on Match of the Day after I come home, and he was saying he's sort of condescending to Spurs, and I was thinking, no, we're top of the league, right? And we didn't get on first. It was Man United's game. Wolves Man United first. So they put us second. It's like we're second fiddle, you know. It's not fair because we're the top team. Play us first. I was really angry when we weren't.
Sky Sports couldn't even show us yesterday, Ellie. I fully agree with this. Look, this whole TV thing. Look, do you know what it is? I genuinely think it's because they got the nuts burnt by the whole Harry Kane situation. You know, they thought they were all over it, they were onto something. And I genuinely do think it's because they got the nuts burnt on that. I'll be honest with you. Look, Sky 2 weekends on the trot refusing to show us, especially yesterday, they showed muck savage football. Burnley and Leeds. Honestly, I've seen better down in my local pitch in a farmer's field, right? Right, and they'd rather show that than silky, smooth wave work, silky, tough nut, skip. Jacket manhandler, the greatest number 10 on the planet, the greatest number 7 on the planet. They'd rather show muck savage than what we have to offer on a brand new shiny stadium. And then match of the day, then turned it on. I had to turn it off straight away. When we weren't first, I had to turn it off straight away.
I thought, bloody stupid gits. I was thinking, I was so angry. I was thinking, we're top of the league. We should be the first game. If Liverpool were top of the league, they'll be the first game. If Arsenal were top of the league, they'd be first game.
Look, even if it was Leicester, Gary Lineker, would probably be, betting about his underpants again. His tighty little whiteys and everything else. I'm sick of
crisps.
The disrespect Tottenham, Ellie. I'm sick. I'm like you. I've had enough.
Yeah.
Jiminy does say, don't forget, Ellie, in the media, Spurs only win because the other team played bad. We can't ever get credit for anything. It's ridiculous. What would you say to Jiminy?
It's really ridiculous. I think they're biased. We never get any good press from the media.
Do you feel like you actually hear that? Do you feel like you would hear that from pundits? Like, after a win, they'll just kind of relent about how poor the other team was instead of how good maybe we were?
Yeah, especially Martin Tyler. What a div. I don't like him. He never gives us any praise, right? And
I haven't had that word div in ages.
Yeah, Martin Tyler, if he's on, right, and I'm not at the match, I'll mute his voice because I can't stand it. I'll mute him. He never gives us any props. When we do something good, he doesn't sort of rave about it. He's very, and he's muted. Mute. Boop.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Jiminy, it is a joke. It is a joke, my man. And
I wish Brian Davies was still alive.
Who?
Brian Davies, the Spurs fan who done the commentary when Gaza scored. No, Barry Davies, sorry, not Brian Davies. Barry Davies.
I thought you said Brian Daigle at start, and I was like, Jesus, maybe he hasn't got him that much.
Yeah, haven't I? I'm scared of him now. No, Barry Davies, he was a brilliant commentator. And John Motson, although he was a statistician like you, Jack, right, I did like him because he did have a bit of banter. Yeah.
Do you not know he's Jack's grandfather?
I think Jack's his son, isn't it?
No, I'm formally now adopted by Nuno. I'm actually Nuno.
It's Jack Kanika. What is it? Jack Kanika Santo now.
Jacko Kaniko Santo. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, John Motson, if he did have a son, it would be you, Jack. Definitely.
Absolutely love it. Ellie, you've really come on and brought some good vibes to the stream. I really do appreciate it.
I'll try my best.
No, you've been absolutely brilliant. Look, before we do let you go, why don't you tell some of the people about some of the show ideas that you have coming up?
Yeah, basically, myself and Philip, the brilliant Philip Brady, we've got a show coming on, and we've got some really good questions and answers, and look back at nostalgic periods of Spurs history, so people who don't know about it can be fully versed and ask us questions while we're online as well, because there's a lot of fans out there who are quite young and they're quite au fait on the most of the history of Spurs, but we've got a more in-depth look, and also ex-players, what they're doing now, and where are they now. Such players like Alfie Conn, for example, that some of the youngsters would never have heard of. And he was like Glenn Hoddle-esque. So I won't give any more away because I want to save some for the show. Yeah. Yeah, but it's going to be fabulous. And Philip is, oh my God, he's something else, isn't he? He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I love him. Do you know what? He's like you, Ellie. He's getting his own little fan club. Together you already have yours. Now Philip is getting his.
Yeah. I'm not surprised because he knows his stuff. But he's got charm. You can know
as
your
you both
stuff,
do, though.
but if you haven't got charm and personality to deliver it, it doesn't come across as interesting and exciting to the person watching. And I'm sure the chat's going to go mad for us both. I'm just hoping. I'll keep my fingers crossed that the Harris Army are loyal to us as well.
No, I'm sure they will. Look, you and Philip bring great energy, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm 100% sure they will.
Harris
I hope they
Army.
will. And the Harris Army, I do ask you to get fully
Yes.
behind the show. When
Come
we
on,
do
the
get it out,
Harris Army.
we'll take another couple of weeks. But look, dude, as soon as we get it out, guys, please do get fully behind it. Me and Jack are going to enjoy it, and I hope you guys do too. But look, Ellie, thank you so much for giving up your time this evening, and I appreciate
Thank you for inviting me on again. I appreciate it.
Ellie, thank you again.
I'm going to be
for all
watching the rest of the show from my bedroom now. I'm inside in my bedroom with my
Take the night
Spurs
off.
scarf on my bed, not round my neck, because obviously you're going to bed.
Hopefully you had some of that winter champagne maybe saved. Of course, you know, considering you're top of the league, it's probably plenty acceptable to finish all of the winter champagne. But, you know, hopefully you have a bit left over for yourself.
Yeah, I'll save some when we beat Arsenal.
Yeah.
I'm going to save the best bottle for it. I've got some Ben and Jerry's, but I'm not going to have any tonight. I'll tell you why, because I need to lose a bit of the paunch, you know, so when I wear my Spurs shirt, it looks good. I don't want to be an Eric
you can't resist. Stop lying, you know. Look, if you're like me, you can't resist an out scoop of Ben and Jerry's. You have to get a cheeky scoop. Every time you walk by the freezer, it's just you're thinking about it. It's like, I'm going to have a cheeky scoop here. You know what I mean?
Every other night, David. Every other night.
No.
All right, lads. Thank you very much. And you, good luck with the rest of the show. I'm sure you're going to smash it out the park.
No, I appreciate it. And look, no more comments about Ben and Jerry's on cones. I nearly had a diabetic attack here the other day. You know. So,
all right.
No, look,
I
appreciate it.
Promise no more. All right then.
I appreciate it. See you, Ellie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good evening.
Bye, Ellie. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Absolute legend. Absolute great call. Good banter when Ellie comes on. Always good banter. Who's next, Jacko?
I think it's Chris, actually, after this one. I think it's our stand-up comedian. Chris is coming on. Big up, Chris. How you doing?
Evening, lads.
Just
how we doing?
You're looking fresh as well, Chris. Looking handsome and fresh as well. You know, with the new hat. Is that a new one, or maybe it was new last? It was new last time.
Same one. Same one.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's been a good weekend, isn't it?
Definitely has, Chris. Definitely has. Also, as well, Chris. Considering, what if we were maybe to pull off getting a right back and getting Musa Sissoko and Harry Stinks out this window? Would you call that a good window, Chris?
Right. I know who the Emerson is. I know who Musa Sissoko is, but the last one I can't remember.
And that's right. And also, Chris, do you have anything to say to David? You know, it feels like he hasn't been very good, you know, in terms of, you know, that diet you were talking about, you know, of a certain player. Do you feel like, you know, he hasn't been well to it, Chris, I feel like.
Disgraceful behavior, David. Disgraceful behavior. I'm sure.
You know what? It just keeps coming up every time, you know. Honestly, I can't help it. It's like having friends.
When I see that name, I just say stop swearing. Sorry, I can't handle it. But no, seriously, it's been a really good weekend for me. We're top of the league, as my name says, top of the league, and then we trust. And one of my pals is an Arsenal supporter. He won't take my calls now because I told him keep Arteta, trust the process. He got really upset.
Definitely. And also, Jiminy, I really do appreciate you. I really do appreciate it. And as well, Jiminy, again, you know, the whole Harris Army absolutely loves you. But
big respect, Jiminy.
Really do appreciate you. And Chris, though, you know, just to maybe lighten up, you know, Jiminy's night, you know, is there any kind of a one-liners maybe about, you know, Stinksy, you know, considering, you know, we've gotten Skippy, you know, in the squad. Is it maybe that obvious, you know, Chris? You know, you just take one player out of the squad, take Stinks out of the squad, you're top of the league. Is it that simple?
Yeah, it is, because we offered Stinks to Leeds and they refused him. So what does that say? Yeah. Leeds are struggling at the moment and they can't string a win together. And when the likes of Newcastle and Leeds are refusing Stinks, that says a lot, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
It's like, as soon as they see his name, not interested. Which I was actually quite surprised that Sissoko went first.
Why?
But I was actually quite surprised that Sissoko was the first out the door.
Why is that, Chris?
Because, like, he is part of the Deadwood, Sissoko, and I was just dreading it yesterday, thinking, is he going to be the one who comes back and bites us and scores a 30-yard screamer against us?
I was fearing it, you know, Chris, but actually he instead, you know, hit a 30-yard screamer, you know, into the stands, you know, and it was a bit of a souvenir actually for a lucky fan. It was actually a send off, you know, to the fans as well. I actually hope that he actually plays well from here on out. But I was a bit worried, Sissoko would, somehow all of a sudden, tune in, to that Champions League run, Sissoko. So
Yeah.
I am quite, happy to find out that, that's not really, the Sissoko that, Watford are probably getting.
I was just quite relieved because yesterday I didn't actually see the game because I was at work again and I was still back in the office. So I missed all the game yesterday. So I only caught the glimpses of the highlights, and I thought I see him hitting the shot, and I was like, he ain't gonna do it, surely. Not against us, because we have players who have a nasty habit of doing that to us. We sell them, then they score a 30-yard banger against us. If I remember rightly, it was Aaron Lennon against us when we sold him to Everton. First game he played against us, he smacked the one top corner.
Yeah, so, but look, Aaron Lennon has a bit more control over his feet than what Musa Rowboats does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but still, David, it's one of them ones. We sell a player and he turns out to be a superstar in the end. It's normally the way.
Yeah.
Look at Coco. He's banging in the goals now, left, right, and centre for Seville.
Don't say that. Will Stewart's just after in the comments saying, "I love Chris. He's funny," and now you have to mention Lamella lad.
Yeah, Coco now couldn't score very many for us in the 8 years he was with us. As soon as he goes to Seville, he starts banging in the goals. So that says say no more about that.
Definitely, Chris.
Just this super chat from Tinman 007, lads. It says, big up, guys. Hearing some rumours about Spurs going in for Ruben Neves from Wolves. What's your thoughts on this? If this is true, look, for me, I'm 100% for it.
I like it.
Center in midfield that I've been asking for. So, Tinman, I think that'll be a 10 out of 10 transfer. I'll be very, very happy with that signing. Look, Jack, what's your thoughts? And we'll ask Chris as well. And just quickly, while we get Jack's thoughts, everybody make sure you do smash that like button, guys. Absolutely obliterate. And Shamu's on a one-man mission there to try and get us to 150 likes. Absolutely smash it. 200 odd people watching right now. No excuses not to. And also, get them super chats in, guys. It is a great way to support us and skips you ahead of the queue.
Yeah, with Neves, with Ruben Neves, I would absolutely love to have him. He's he can really be that tempo setter, that kind of distributor in the midfield, someone that can maybe take a bit of the burden, probably off of Winksy or Højbjerg, in terms of the creative department as well. If we had to go super defensive, I'm not even kidding, like playing all three of them would just be absolutely glorious. All hard men, kind of midfielders. Neves, I would say, is probably the least kind of hard man of them, but still a very, a very good midfielder. He puts in hard tackles. He also, despite him not being very quick or anything, he's able to cover lots of ground. He is kind of, able with just, sometimes him and João Matinho, somehow they're able to run a midfield, just dictate the play, and be able to even have dominating possession, David, with Wolves, especially recently, him and João Matinho have just been running the show, you will say, against even better teams as well. So thinking with Ruben Neves, would absolutely take him, almost for any price, I would say, especially if we're going to pay 40 million, 30 million for Adama. I would certainly pay that price for Ruben Neves. I would absolutely pay anywhere between 30 and 40 million for him. I probably wouldn't want to pay excess of 40 million, but whatever it takes to get him in the door, absolutely rate him.
Well, just before we get Chris's thoughts, just quickly, just to add this, me personally, if I'm looking at it from an objective point of view, take him. I struggle to see it happening on deadline day. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I'd be hesitant. I certainly wouldn't think that Wolves would let him go on deadline day. Look, the owners, they're not strapped for cash either. But if they do, look, I'd be absolutely buzzing. But I just air that one with a bit of caution. But Chris, what is your thoughts on the Ruben Neves links, my man?
I'll take him. I'll take him in a heartbeat. He might be the player that could link up the whole play for us. So 40, 50 million, I would actually risk that payment for him. But whether Wolves want to sell him to us, they would need to find a replacement for him, and I don't think in the short amount of time it may be possible.
Interesting.
But I would definitely take him if we had the chance. Most definitely. He's a quality player, and that's what we probably need.
Yeah.
It's all good having Skip and Højbjerg in the middle, but we really need that attacking threat as well, because Højbjerg and Skip are more like the defensive. We just need something like the old Ericsson or something like that. And Neves probably could fill that gap.
You could shoot it from distance too. Absolutely can rip it from distance, as we well know, which will be, I would say, a needed threat, because Dele Alli can't really shoot it from distance.
Yeah.
Højbjerg is probably the only one that can take a crack, from distance. So it'd be nice to, have someone like Neves be able to do it. And as well, Neves's passing ability is really, I will say, a bit underrated sometimes. He really is quite incredible at being able to, move the ball around, just spray it, like a garden hose almost, the way he moves the ball around. It's really really quite glorious to watch. But yeah, I don't really think this is happening though simultaneously. So that was maybe a bit of a Ruben Neves love session. That was maybe a bit unneeded. But then again, Tin Man, we definitely would love to see it. We would love to see it happen.
Sorry to burst your balloons, Tin Man. I'm sorry about that, my man. Look, I hope it does happen. I'm with you. I hope it does. But we didn't mean to burst the balloons and rain on anybody's parade. It's a good day. It's Monday. We're top of the league. So look, Neves is happening. Let's believe it. I always say if you believe something enough, it will happen. So who knows? Maybe Tim Man, if I believe in it enough, it could happen. But Chris, look, I want to get thoughts on the transfer window. It's the hot topic right now. What's your thoughts so far, without doing any more business? So far, good or bad window?
In the middle for me, it's 50-50. If I'm honest,
we've
done all right, but we still need those few little last additions.
Yeah, do you feel like what are those last additions for you? Is it, maybe it seems like the right back is coming in, obviously, Bob is probably going to be waiting for, the TTHS, but, what do you feel like if let's say we get in that right back, what else do you feel like we need?
We need a cam, and we definitely need another striker to back Harry Kane up, because we know, as much as we love Harry Kane, we know about his dodgy ankle, so we definitely need something, maybe a backup striker to take the burden off Son.
Interesting. Would you feel like that Cam, is going to needs to play more than one position though, Chris? Do you feel like he has to, maybe play right wing, maybe striker? What do you feel like that Cam needs to be able to do?
We need somebody like Ericsson. Like Ericsson could just play off the forwards, like how he used to for us, where he could just play just off them and just filter, certainly be the playmaker for us. That's what we need ideally. But whether we get it or not in the last short space of time, I'm not too sure if that would actually be realistic for us. But Emerson is looking promising, it's just a few final details that we're waiting on. Adama Traore may be a last-minute surprise, as Brad said, but I'm not too sure if that will go ahead. Ruben Neves, fingers crossed, maybe. Who knows? But we definitely need a centre attacking midfielder who can set the players up. Because we won 3 in a row, 1-0. We need more than that, really, if we think about it, because stronger teams might punish us for those 1-0s, and pull us back, and we don't really want that to happen. So, ideally, we need somebody. We need something more.
Do you feel like they were kind of, despite them all being 1-0, I feel like they were all still kind of close calls, Chris. Do you feel like there were 3 different types of 1-0 performances, though?
Look, the Man City game, we all knew what we were going to get from Man City. They're going to dominate the ball. They're going to go at us. But their record at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is non-existent. They just can't beat us there. Wolves, we knew how they play, from where they like to have possession of the ball and attack. And so we hit them on the counter. Watford, we had more possession than them, had more opportunities, but it was just that final ball where it was just lacking. So that's why I think Cam would be more suitable for what we actually need.
Interesting. David, any questions, for Chris? I think we just discussed, it being kind of 3 different 1-0 performances. He was saying it would be, a good transfer window if we still got in some of the, the very obvious maybe additions. But he's thinking, especially if we were to get, the likes of Winks, Sissoko, and another right back. For me personally, that would be a good window. But, Chris still feels like we need a bit more than that. Just to get you right, Chris, do you feel like that's true? Do you feel like we still need a bit more? If we were to get this right back, you feel like if you could only get one more, then, Chris, what would you sign? Would it be that Cam? Would it be that striker?
See, the right back's a good thing, because I don't think with Tanganga's injury problems in the past, it might just take one injury and he'll be out for 6-7 months and we'll end up with Doherty, which I don't want to see again, to be honest. But we do definitely need a Cam. We definitely need a Cam just to fill that gap in the middle.
Do you not think that Brian Hill may be off the back of I know people are going to say it's only Pacos de Ferreira, but at the end of the day, look, when you look at a player, you know he's a good player. This guy has intelligence.
David, he still needs time he still needs time to adjust to the Premiership, to be fair. We need somebody who's probably got Premiership experience already, just to to fill the gap for now until Brian Hill gets more experience into the Premiership. Where, yeah, he played great when he come on playing on the left hand side, and he can move it to the right, and yeah, he can play all right in the middle. But still, for me, he needs a bit more Premiership experience before we can say, yeah, he's a guaranteed.
The only way you're going to give him Premiership experience is by putting him in there.
Yeah, but Dave, not for the whole game. I would say give him like most of the second half. Say give him 30 minutes the second half every game, just so he builds up his experience in the Premiership. And once he's able to do that, then try him up for like 90 minutes or give him 70 minutes in. End on Belly.
I'm just going to say, I'm just going to put this on record, though, Chris. I do think that this kid is the real deal, and I do believe he's going to make it.
But don't get me wrong, David. From what I've watched him against Packers, I think he's going to be the absolute nuts. But I just want to give him a bit more time to bed in. I just want to give him more time.
Yeah, you just want to let him accustom. I like that. I like that. I definitely like that, Chris.
To be fair, it's like, for me, if Endon Berger decided just to get off his arse and stop being so lazy and commit, I think he could actually do a job. But he just doesn't look like he's interested. To me, I think he's just, can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And we've got 200 grand a week sitting there doing nothing at all.
Yeah.
Stealing a living.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong. It definitely is wrong. Thank you, Ben Dallo. I really appreciate the support, my man. Really do appreciate the support. Look, Chris, you know, how far do you think we'd be able to push being top of the league? I know we're top now, but realistically, looking at things from objective, no one gave us a chance or a hope of top four. But looking at things now, do you think we will sneak into that top four?
Yeah, I think so. We keep playing the way we're playing. Look, this is 3 weeks in a row. I can't slate Dyer and I cannot slate Sanchez.
Yeah.
Like, this is 3 weeks in a flipping row.
You must be pulling your hair out.
That's why I've had to keep the flat cap on. Because, no, seriously, for me, if we keep playing the way we're playing, and even if it's grinding out the 1-0s, look at Leicester when they won the league. They ground out 1-0 after 1-0 after 1-0. And look, they won the league. So we can do the same and finish in the top 4.
Yeah.
But we just can't rely on the 1-0 because the 1-0 scoreline is a deadly scoreline.
Yeah.
And Chris, you know, who do you feel like was your man of the match in the last game? Was it Højbjerg? Was it Davinson Sanchez? Those seem to be the two. Is it someone else?
It has to be the first one for me is Højbjerg because from what I watched on the highlights, he was just skimming the passes left, right, and centre. Sanchez, another solid performance. I can't fault him. He's improved so much under Nuno. He's impressed me a lot. So I don't think everybody's been screaming for another centre back. I don't think we do. We just got to give him a bit more trust.
Would you also, if you had to pick between Moon Boots and Sanchez, I think I know the answer, but who would you probably drop? You know, to let Romero in.
It has to be Moon Boots. Moon Boots is still showing that lack of concentration. Yeah, okay, put a great block in yesterday to stop the shot in the first minute. But he's still showing a lot of lack of concentration, whereas Davinson Sanchez has upped his game. And he started to show that concentration and show why we paid that 46 million for it.
Well said.
So yeah, for me, it would definitely be Sanchez I'll keep in and maybe move Dyer to the bench or keep him for cup games.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, look, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Look, a good comment there. Adam McFarlane says, need to rest Skip and give Ndombele some minutes on the pitch. We have no players to open teams up.
Good point.
Yeah, it is a fair point. The person I would drop is actually Dele Alli because I believe he's in the midfield to be that creator. And if he's not doing it, I would take him out and leave Skip and Højbjerg in there because they turn the ball over. But Chris, what would you say? Say if we don't buy a Cam and you do want more creative, who misses out in that midfield to form the two, and then who comes in as Cam?
Well, you know what? I have to say, if Ndombele sorts himself out, yeah, and gets over the fact that Sissoko's gone and Aurier's going to go and start showing himself, drop Dele and let Ndombele take that position and show us that what creative we need. Because look, when Ndombele's on form, he's one hell of a player, and you cannot get the ball off him. The ball sticks to his foot. And you cannot tackle him. And he showed it. But David, his problem is his attitude. He needs to change his attitude quick.
Yeah.
And I would drop Dele. I would drop Dele back onto the bench in a heartbeat if Ndombele if he proved himself.
No, look, I fully get where everyone's coming from with Ndombele. Look, just for me, 4 managers, not one of them. You know, maybe you'd say Mourinho sort of fancy them. 3 of them haven't. The national team manager hasn't. You know,
Poch didn't have enough time with him.
Been at Tottenham and for what he's given back, I get it. He does have these class moments, but if you realistically think about for how long he's been here and what he's given to the club in that process, I just don't think it's anywhere near enough. And if I'm going to hold that standard with the likes of Harry Winks, Davies and Doherty, I'm going to hold it to Ndombele as well.
Look, David, for me, Poch wasn't given enough time with Ndombele. Ryan Mason was just playing his mates for the hell's sake of it. You know what I mean? Because he was best mates with Winks and Ali. So he had to play them because his former teammates. Mourinho, yeah, okay, he put him in the doghouse for the first season, but then he started to show that trust in Ndombele. And when Mourinho got sacked, it went all downhill for him. But Mourinho did give him his opportunity, and that's why he was a regular first-team starter under Jose in the earlier part of the season when we were top of the league. Yeah. Before everything went disastrously wrong.
But he's also a massive part to why we were so open at the back last year, because he wouldn't track back and help out.
Yeah, and that was also because of the way we were playing the low ball block under Jose, which was one of the worst things we could have possibly done because it was great for the first 4 or 5 games under Jose. Then teams started to realise what we were doing, and it was able to be countered.
Chris, I know you're better than this. You're not going to blame the Jose Mourinho low block for Ndombele not tracking back, surely.
Yeah, but no, not at all. I'm not saying that, David. What I'm saying is, yes, Ndombele has been lazy, but he's got that talent to give us a little bit more. And if he doesn't show it, then yeah, get rid of him by all means. But he just needs a chance under Nuno. Let's see what he can do.
Do you think he could take over that Dele role, though, Chris? If it all came to it, he could play that Dele role. He wouldn't necessarily be asked to, drop, as deep. Obviously, we're still then asking a lot of Skippy and Højbjerg, to just continue to, mop up for everybody. But do you feel like Tommy could do a better job than Dele is, maybe?
Well, Dele at the moment, he's hit and miss. He's had some good games. Then all of a sudden he slips back into his old habits where he's just jogging, not running for that ball. He's slipping back into his old habits, and he needs to be consistent. For me, it's all about consistency. If he wants to stay in the first team, he needs to be consistent week in, week out, tracking back and putting those runs forward, not just jogging. Because some of the things I saw from yesterday was not impressive. Not for me. He needs to show a bit more. So we need more creativeness because. Yeah, 1-0 is great if we're winning, but what if the worst thing is we concede in the last 15, 20 minutes? Then we have to go for it again. And it's going to be the same thing again as we repeat before. We can't just defend a 1-0 lead for 70 minutes. We can't do it. We need more of it. We need more attack, more forcefulness on the ball.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. If maybe a bit onto a bit, lighter or a bit more positive, subject. Do you feel like, with Harry Kane coming back into the squad, do you feel like, we're going to even hit a different type of stride, a different type of pace? Of course, we started off quite well without Harry Kane, but now that he's back into the squad, do you feel like we'll be playing a bit differently? Do you see us, winning games a bit differently? Do you see us just even being a wholly different team, basically?
Yeah, I think so. Harry Kane, he's just going to take him a few weeks to get back into his stride because you can see he's still a bit ring rust around him. Give him a couple of weeks. International coming break, give him a chance to freshen up. Afterwards, I think you can see the team's togetherness anyway. So even all the nonsense about Harry Kane going to Man City, was he going, was he staying? The team didn't show no difference to him, even the supporters. So with Harry Kane, I think the support's still there for him. And so I think he just needs a few more weeks to get back to his 100% fitness, and we'll start seeing the goals flying in from him again.
Definitely, Chris.
Yeah, we all hope so. That's for sure.
Definitely.
We need them 100%. Do you think maybe that's what you was just saying about a bit of the creativity problem? Do you think maybe that Harry Kane dropping deep maybe could solve that if Nuno doesn't want to change the system from a 4-2-3-1 and he wants to keep the 4-3-3? Do you think maybe getting Harry Kane to drop deeper and using the wingers like Liverpool do maybe might solve that?
I'd rather see Harry Kane in the box doing what he does best, scoring goals, not having to drop back. That is not him really. He's an out-and-out goal scorer. He's there to score goals. We can't have him dropping back because that's where we're losing positions where we haven't got goals. We're lacking the goal scoring threat. It's all well having Sonny. Bergwijn can shoot, but he still hasn't found the target yet. Lucas is hit and miss. He'll have a great game, then he won't. Then, so for me, you need to have Harry Kane in the box, scoring goals, not having him having to drop back all the time. That is why we need that centre attacking midfielder to provide that for Harry. Because if you have that, we'll score bags of goals, and we will hit that top 4 position, and we'll stay there.
Interesting.
And that's why I say that's why we're missing that Eriksen type of player. Because when Eriksen was at Tottenham, you wouldn't see Harry Kane tracking all the way back, having to dig deep. Yeah. He was in the box 9 times out of 10, waiting for that ball to come in and a goal.
Yeah.
And that's for me, being honest, we do need something there. We do 100%. You can see it. Yeah, we're making chances, but still, it's the creative part of it, where it's the last part of the game where the ball is just not getting in the back of the net.
Yeah. Do you feel like Nuno is a bit unlucky to not have a game that wasn't 1-0? Like, do you feel like he is probably just a little bit frustrated, considering that he's probably in a way set up the team for good chances? All the strikers, all the wingers are creating great chances. Do you just feel like he might be just a bit frustrated with the finishing?
Definitely, because look, we could have had 2 or 3 against Wolves last week. They had 1 chance against us, dominated the ball, but we had 4 or 5 chances against Wolves to bury to finish the game. Again, like yesterday against Watford, we had 58% possession of the ball, and we finished 1-0. We need that goal scorer. We do. We need that goal scoring threat in that box constant. Because if we do, it's all good.
I think they're not even being selfish enough, Chris. What do you think of that?
Well, it depends.
Some of the players I feel like could be a bit more selfish. It could be not actually pass the ball off or lay it off to each other. They could actually consider maybe they should be the one put the burden right on their shoulders. Take the responsibility.
I think with Bergwijn especially, it's a confidence issue where it just seems to me like he isn't confident to strike that ball. That's why he'll rather play the easy pass and lay it across. We need somebody who's just going to take the ball and just say, you know what, I'm going to try to bend it top corner. And if it goes, it goes. Like Son does. Like Lucas does when he wants to try. Kane does it all the time. That's the sort of player we need, somebody like Son and Kane, who will just take the initiative and put the ball in. But I think with Bergwijn, it's so much with confidence. He's just he hasn't got no confidence in front of the goal. Yeah, he's shooting, but he just doesn't show enough for it.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, well, look, Chris,
he's good. He's good for the runs, but for goal scoring, nah. That's why my fear is if we sign Traore, that'll be exactly the same situation.
Well, look, we'll wait and see what the window holds, Chris. I definitely want to get you back on after the window anyway, 100%, my man.
Definitely.
Appreciate great discussion here, this evening. Absolutely, thoroughly enjoyed that, my man. Love that.
David, and you see, I actually can be serious when I try.
No,
and
I know
you're being a much better Winksitarian than David even was the whole time as well, Chris.
Yeah, but now he's becoming an end-on burger. This is the problem. He's gone from Winksitarian to end-on burger.
Hey, no, David. No, David. No. I am not saying I support end-on burger. I'm just saying let's give him one last chance to see what he does. And if he doesn't do it, get the out of my club. Simple.
So I'll give him a 5th chance, Chris. How's that?
Just give him till January, David. So let's see. If he still hasn't done nothing by January, get out and don't come back.
Just give him till the next McDonald's, promotional meal, is over, practically that.
It's like with Bergwijn. I'm saying the same thing with Bergwijn. Give him till January. If he still hasn't improved, get out.
No, look, fair enough. But I'm now going to nick you. I'm now going to nickname you Ndombele Fan Club. So that's
no. Listen, that's like saying you're the Winks Fan Club, David. Then that ain't happening, is it?
No, but everyone knows I'm not the Winks Fan Club. You could have mistaken me.
I'm not the biggest fan of Ndombele. I've criticised him. I've criticised Ndombele. Look, David, I've criticised Ndombele a lot, and I have. I've criticised him for his lack of commitment to the club. But I'm willing to give every player one last chance. Winks has had his too many chances for me. That's why I won't give him no more, especially after Paco de Ferreira the first leg. That's why I won't give him any more chances. But Ndombele hasn't had a chance this season. Let's see what he does when he actually does get a chance. And if he does do nothing, then get out.
No, 100%. I'm only winding you up, Chris. I'm only winding you up, my man. Brilliant chat, lad. And I'll see you again soon.
All right, see you again soon, lads. See you. In Nuno
Chris.
we trust, and we're top of the league.
And Nuno we trust, Chris. I love it, Chris. And Nuno we trust.
See you later.
Absolutely
Take
love
care.
it. See, Chris. See, Bella is number one fan.
Yeah. See you later, man.
Absolutely love Chris. He cracks me up every time he comes on. He's an absolute legend. He's brilliant. He is brilliant. Absolutely. And do you know what? It's good to get serious, Chris, this time. Talking, getting down to the nitty gritty of things. Absolutely loved it. He makes a lot of sense, I have to say. He really does. Guys, make sure you keep smashing that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you're new. You want to come on and you're right, remember the link is up in the description. But also, if you're not a member, grab that channel membership and get yourself on here and have your say. But as for now, it will be the last guest of the evening unless someone else comes in. And then after that, then we will be ending off because Jack has the in-laws over, and everyone knows, when the in-laws are over, you have to be on your best behavior and you have to be around just in case they want a bit of tea or coffee or that. So, we will end it off after Philip unless anyone else comes in. But Philip, my man, how are you?
Yeah, good, excellent. Happy
Good
Mondays.
to have you, Philip.
Hi, Jack. Hi, Dave.
Absolutely love it. Well, look, Philip, we no point in getting your thoughts on yesterday's game because you done the review with us. But the transfer window, I want to talk to you about the transfer window.
Yeah.
What positions do you want to see strengthened before it closes?
Well, it looks like we're getting a right back in the boy from Barcelona, Emerson. Okay, ideally we'd like to get a creative midfielder and a striker. Now we've only got 24 hours left now to do all this. So okay, if we get a right back, fair enough. I see rumors tonight that we're after this Basuma fella from Brighton.
Oh, I'd love it. He's
whoever true that is, and also Neves from Wolves. Now either of those would be a very, very good addition to the squad. As regarding striker as well, I don't have. It's all gone quiet. I haven't heard anything of who we're looking. If we're looking at anybody, so it looks like we're going to have to soldier on again with just Mr. Kane up front and hope to God his ankles stay there.
And does this frustrate you, Philip, considering how many windows we've had to kind of solve the issue?
I mean, we've been looking for a backup striker since about 1897. I mean, it's we must be the only club in the Premiership that doesn't have, 2 or 3 strikers to choose from. Okay, since we I know we had Vinicius last year, but I think the last time we really had a decent backup striker was Llorente. He had to flick onto Dele Alli to make the goal in Amsterdam that night. So, but I really don't know. Like, okay, we've got Dane Scarlett. He's a very, very promising young lad, but he's only 17. I mean, you saw what the Paco Ferreira defenders, they chewed him up that night. And that was no fault of his own. He just didn't get the service, which is where the central, the attacking midfielder comes into play, But no, if we get the fullback, I mean, and there's no disrespect to Tanganga, who's done brilliantly, but I think Tanganga's more natural position is in the center.
Yeah.
So, so if we'll have a really good defensive unit if we get a hold of that guy from Barcelona.
Do you think even Tanganga just needs still a bit of competition? I mean, he has Bobo the Clown and Matt Doherty, as the competition. Do you just feel like Emerson will just be immediately just someone that could improve?
I think if Romero coming in is anything to go by for the performance of the centre backs, then definitely. Look at the two. I mean, could you imagine sitting here a month ago and saying that Dyer and Sanchez with 3 clean sheets in a row?
I would have went ballistic saying that a month ago. I would have.
The men in white coats would be coming and dragging you off somewhere, But it's happened. I mean, and competition keeps people on their toes.
Yeah.
And I think last season there was an awful lot of complacency set into that squad. Plus we probably had a manager who didn't give a shit, really. So like this season, Nuno has come along and he laid down the law. I mean, look, he's got rid of Sissoko now, but he got rid of Sissoko, and Ndombele looks like we're going to be left with him. And I mean, you can look at that 2 ways. Once he can knuckle down. Lock the car doors when he's driving past McDonald's, or he can just do what he's been doing for the last few months and fester in the reserves, not getting any game time. which would be a shame because I mean the guy has probably got more talent than a few of our players put together if he'd only get his head in the right place and you know, knuckle down, do what he's told. Like, I don't know what's happened between himself and Nuno, but it looks like Nuno doesn't fancy him, and that can be fatal for a player. So the only way forward I can see for Ndombele is if we get a run of injuries, he gets his fitness back, and he's thrust in because we have to play him.
Yeah.
And he probably play out of his skin. Hopefully.
Do you think that that's probably the only way he will get in, Philip? Do you think that if he like, look, it looks like he's staying. So do you think that maybe him and Nuno can repair that relationship a bit like Mourinho and Ali sort of had to do, or do you think it's just unresolvable now and he was just going to have to wait to see if we get injuries?
So who knows? We really wouldn't probably never know the answer to that. All that we can hope is that the two of them, whatever differences they have, the greater good here is the good of Tottenham Hotspur, not their egos or not their own personal feelings. I mean, the guy is getting a huge amount of money every week, so he's got to have some loyalty to the club. You know, you can be sure if they stopped his paycheck every month, he'd be pretty vocal about it. So no, up to yesterday, I kind of said no, I'm done with him. He's not going to feature. Now I'm beginning to think he may have to feature later in the season if circumstances dictate that. You know.
Yeah. Do you know, I couldn't agree more with that, I have to say. Look, this creative problem, do you think we do need to sign a cam this window before it closes? Do you think that's vital?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's important. I mean, we should have enough players in that club to fulfill the role. I mean, we should have Lo Celso should be able to do it up to a point. Dele Alli, should be able to do it. Ndombele certainly can do it, but. Like at this stage, unless, as I keep saying, the nearer we get to the window, the more the clubs are going to quote us for players because they know a last-minute purchase is a desperation purchase.
Yeah.
So, okay, apart maybe from the Barcelona one, the desperation there is they need money, and we've got it, But no, it won't be vitally important. But I would love to get one of those two guys you mentioned earlier. Basuma or Neves in. I mean, they would be an absolute. Like if we got those two in, I would say that'd probably be the best transfer window Spurs have had in living memory.
100%.
Do you feel like in the case of those central midfielders, if it were Basuma or Neves, it's kind of a two-part question here, Philip. Do you feel like A, would you pay any price, for those midfielders because they probably will be expensive since they're from the Premier League, and then B, do you feel like, the likes of Wolves and Brighton, would they be willing to sell these players at this late in the window? Is that, is that possible? Is that something that,
It's unlikely. I mean, I don't think any player that is sold on the last day is usually they're surplus to requirements at their club.
Yeah.
Or they're so that's why I think it's doubtful we'll get those guys are very important to their clubs at the moment. So I don't think we're going to get them, to be honest with you, As regarding the price, I mean, the price is probably, if there was going to be a deal, the price is probably 5 or 10 million more today than it was this day last week because of the closeness to the end of the window and the desperation stakes. No, I think we'll probably get Emerson in. I'd say that will probably be it. If we can offload Aurier or even Doherty, I heard Doherty's name mentioned tonight. It might be off on his travels.
Where to?
I think that would strengthen the squad. So a bit ironic, so you get rid of a player and you strengthen the squad, but we're bringing in a player that can play in that position.
100%. Good answer there as well. Look, how would you rate our window so far, Philip? Say if we don't sign anybody and the window shuts, and we just get in, say what's rumored now is Emerson. And we just have Romero, Galini, and Brian Hill. How would you rate that window, especially with some of the players that have gone as well?
Well, I mean, look at Galini, Emerson, or Galini, Romero, and Hill. I think could and probably should. Well, I won't say should. Could have easily gone to much more high-profile clubs. They could have gone to the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid. Probably would have done if the money situation wasn't as tight as it is at the moment in Europe. I think we've got three fantastic signings there. Really have. I think they're all they're all young guys. None of them are at the the latter end of their careers. In Brian Hill, I think we've got an absolute star there. And as a centre back, Romero is going to kick the shit out of some of these centre forwards over the season.
Yeah.
He's going to, I think he's a real nasty piece of work, and that's what we need. With too much of this Spurs are a soft touch job is thrown up at us. He is going to rectify that problem certainly. And Galini is great. Is like we've now got a competitor for the goalkeeping position. We're not looking at a player that's wondering should he be wicket keeper or first slip. In like Joe Hart was, Joe Hart wasn't he there topping up his pension fund as far as I can see.
Of course,
we've got competition there now. So if everything closes off tomorrow and we get Emerson, I would class it as a 70% window. 7 out of 10.
I was kind of thinking 7.5 out of 10. If it were out of 5, I would do a 3.5 kind of situation where I'm more satisfied than I am disappointed, I would say, with this window. But I certainly, there's a lot that still could be done. There's a lot that I feel like still needs to be done for sure. But do you feel like, Philip, if I were to put it in those terms, would you say you're more satisfied than disappointed?
I'm more satisfied than disappointed. Yeah, definitely. I mean, still, okay, we can still, if we can shift off. Okay, there's probably always going to be a lot of the fringe players. The guys that play for the under-23s are probably going to be shipped out to the likes of Lincoln City and Doncaster and all that sort of stuff tomorrow. They don't really matter, Yeah. I think moving Aurier or Doherty on and bringing in Emerson, I think I'd be reasonably satisfied. If we get a midfielder or a striker, I'd be absolutely over the moon, but I don't think that's realistically is going to happen,
Yeah, 100%. And just look maybe a bit on into the season, Philip. With Romero coming in, we know that Reguilon, played wing backs for Sevilla before he came to Tottenham. Emerson has played right wing back at Real Betis. Do you think maybe we are shaping up to change from a 4 at the back to a 5 at the back? Maybe.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, okay, I think it's going to be match. It'll be on a match by match basis depending on the opposition, what way we line up. But certainly, we could really have. The back 5, I presume we're all looking to see would be Emerson on the right, Romero, Sanchez, and possibly Tanganga in the middle. Maybe Joe Rodon coming into position when he's fit and whatever, and then Reguilon on the left. I mean that is a pretty potent defense stroke attacking force, and it could well be. I mean I don't think we're going to use it in every game, but certain matches against the whatever way the other lineups or the opposition lines up, could well be. We're going to have to be fluid this season. What we don't want to become is predictable. Yeah. We want to have the opposition thinking every day. Now, I wonder what formation they're going to play today.
Yeah,
and also the fluidity during the match is very important. To be able to switch from a 3 to a 4 at the drop of a hat or just by a signal from the touchline, very important. I think Nuno's pretty good at that. And I mean, what I saw yesterday in the game was, in the second half especially, there was good fluidity to our passing. We were trying to move the ball forward. Okay, it wasn't always possible, but I suppose we didn't have the crab playing in midfield, Winks who would put the ball sideways or backwards. Højbjerg was trying to dictate the pace there. And again, there's another quandary. If we don't get a central attacking midfielder, Højbjerg can do that role. He proved that for Denmark, and he's shown it for us up to a point this season. Problem there is we've got no one then to sit in beside Skip. So, it's kind of a balancing act there, really. What do you do?
Do you feel like then that makes the center mid kind of a bit more crucial just because we just need depth, in that department?
Let's put it like this. You couldn't put the Højbjerg further forward and leave Skip on his own playing the likes of Liverpool or Chelsea. We'd be absolutely murdered. So, it probably would be, it would be even better if we got a player in that can either do both jobs or somebody that can drop back and help Skip out when Højbjerg's moving further forward. And again, Ndombele would be an answer to those if he'd get his act together.
Yeah.
That's
what's painful, and especially. Yeah, sorry, David.
What's that, David?
Oh, no, sorry, Jack. Sorry, go on.
No, I think.
I was just going to say, Philip, do you ever think that Ndombele will get his act together?
Well, I mean, if he's got any professional pride in himself, he doesn't want to be known as the player who couldn't even make the squad for the Conference League. I mean, it's like if put you in his position. If you were a footballer and you're in that position, you'd be busting a gut to get yourself back in.
Yeah.
I just hope he's not one of these lazy guys who's happy to take the paycheck every month and just turn up for training, put in his statutory training without actually pushing himself too hard. And I have a fear that's the way he is. Because if he was turning up every day and busting a gut in training, Nuno, regardless how badly they get on and off the pitch, Nuno, for the sake of the team, has got to be thinking of putting him into it. So, a lot of it's the attitude. In fact, it's all his attitude. It's not his skill levels. I mean, we know he's such a skillful player,
Yeah.
And the look of him, he does appear to have got the weight down a wee bit as well. So, let's hope.
Could be a work in progress. A very expensive work in progress.
And Ndombele we could be praising him in a couple of months' time. We could be raving about him.
Like we did the other seasons. Yeah, it seems to happen every season and actually, Philip, that would be the question to you. Do you feel like it could be something similar to last season, with Mourinho, where just all of a sudden, Ndombele comes out of the fray and, it's just all, the creative force that, we've been looking for, the number 10 we've been looking for, the assist man. Do you feel like he could make some type of comeback, that would be of kind of, let's say, epic proportions, for the squad?
Well, I mean, I would hope so, because listen, no one player is better than the whole team. I mean, if I just hope that he's not a bad influence in the dressing room, because that kind of I think we've got rid of the guys that probably had that effect, but you don't know if he's one of them, and the fact that he was banished from the squad nearly for the conference thing, I just don't know, and unfortunately we will never know, because that sort of stuff will never be leaked out, and. I can only hope. Like he's a Tottenham player. We have to get behind him. I know we've slagged him off and we've written him off, but give a dog a bad name. He's got a bad name at the minute. It's up to him to improve that and to prove us all wrong. That's basically what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, no more treats for Tongi, I would say, for sure.
No. I'd say now. There'd be if the boys are having chips, he'd be on the pasta.
I hope so. And I definitely hope so. And it's not pasta with chips either, Ndombele, if he is watching. But look, Andy Gills again, people are saying about this Neves deal, and that Wolves are actually going after Renato Sanchez, and that's why they think this deal could happen.
Yeah.
Would Renato Sanchez be a player you would go after for the middle like that?
That's the guy with the ponytail.
We'll keep on Wednesday night when Ireland are playing, Philip.
Well, I hope he doesn't play well on Wednesday, but anyway. Forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. It's on Wednesday night. Yeah. Renato Sanchez. Yeah, I mean, let Wolves have him, and we'll take Neves. Because Neves is proven in the Premiership.
Yeah.
Renato Sanchez isn't. I mean, at this stage, we've enough players in the squad that have no experience in the Premiership, and we can't really afford to allow them the time to bed in too much. We've 3 players who barely kicked the ball in it, and to make that 4 now will be a little bit tough. It might just pull us back a few weeks till they get settled. So, yeah, I'll take Neves, and they can have the other guy.
I'd certainly take both. You could probably say, in the case of Renato Sanchez, the reason why he's doing so well at Lille, and also, his resurgence at Lille is not, as long as people think it's been. Really is only like half the season. It's been only half the last season that he did so well. He did obviously fantastic, I thought, in the Euros. I mean, some of the turns he was doing and, taking the ball upfield, he was brilliant. But I will say, I think actually what Philip said is a bit more realistic. Him going to Wolves is a good step for him. Whereas, I feel like in the case of Neves, going to Spurs is the right step for Neves, is the right step up that he's probably looking for. Whereas with Renato Sanchez, I would love to have Renato Sanchez, believe me, but it would be, I would say, a bit more of a risk.
Yeah, he would be. But I mean, the fact is, also Neves being another Nuno man would, be able to.
Yeah,
won't need to familiarize himself. He can hit the ground running, really. And they're still talking about Traore, but I mean, Traore Roadrunner there, he great player running at play. Like he tore United apart again on Sunday with no end result again. They lost, I think I'd rather have Neves, who would be a more steady influence on the team, creativity with an end result rather than excitement with no end result.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Look, Neves plugs a gap in as well. Like if we are in the attacking third, like yesterday, you can have Neves, someone sitting a bit deeper away from the play, get him the ball and let him dictate where it's going, let him, see the passes. And I think, look, Traore. Look, I'll be honest with you. If we couldn't get Neves, I'd take. I'm a bit on this. I'm kind of thinking over the last couple of days. I probably would take him in now. Look. The thing is, he creates havoc. And in some of them bigger games, I do think he'd be a useful asset. More useful to us than what Stevie B is at the minute in some of them big games, to be honest with you. But yeah, look, I would rather Neves. And if Wolves can get Sanchez in and we can nab Neves from underneath them, it has to go down as a top piece of business again. I have to say. But look, Philip, anything else you'd like to talk about, my man?
Well, just a quick one on Neves there or Traore there. If we did get him, we would have someone to replace the people in Rosetta, the South Stand. We still have to wear their crash helmets. Now Sissoko's gone, We'll just be replacing him. One thing I want to say there, I see. I'm mentioning this guy because he screwed us over a few years ago. Is Willian? Willian has torn up his contract with Arsenal, which is probably the most exercise he's had since he moved there. And it's going to cost him 20 million to move back to Brazil.
What?
Yeah, he's torn up his contract. He's on 200 and something grand a week. He's taking a 70% pay cut to go back to Brazil to play for Corinthians, and he's going to save Arsenal 20 million over 2 years.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well,
just when we thought he was our favorite player, as Spurs fans. Just when we thought he was our favorite player,
But you know what? At least it shows the guy does love football because he genuinely wants to play,
despite him carrying a baby, Dave.
Yeah. But look, he could have easily sat at Arsenal like Aubameyang is, or like Ozil did, and accepted. But look, as a Spurs fan, I'd love him to sit there and take the wages. But at the end of the day, you got to praise him. He loves football. And he wants to get back out and play again.
Yeah, I was a bit, I was impressed by that because there's not many players have done that. There might be clubs that'll tell the player we don't want you anymore and this and that, but he's volunteered to do this. And just one thing to finish on, and this is again to rub it into Arsenal, who are such a strong team at the moment, holding up the rest of the Premiership. If we can make it, if they're not ahead of us on the 1st of October, which they won't be, barring a miracle, it'll be 2,000 days since they were ahead of us in the league. Since they finished ahead of us. Nice little round figure, that, isn't it?
No, it is. It's perfect. I love stuff with zeros on the end of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah, so I think we're going to have a busy day tomorrow on the transfer window.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be.
Love to hear that.
It's going to be, other days that you've sat look, there's nothing going to happen, but tomorrow you got the feeling there may well be things happening.
Well, look, we have Bob and Brian Daigle in. I'm sure they disagree with you, Philip. So tell them why you think they need to be positive for tomorrow. I know transfer deadline day is a day that they don't like, so
listen, this is positivity TV. We have to be positive. Being negative is not allowed here. But you can be negative on Arsenal fan TV. This is not Arsenal fan TV. This is the real world. This is Spurs TV. No,
crazy to say we're in the real world, Phil. That is a bit crazy. That is a bit crazy. Considering David and I are always in a bit of the delusional section of the plane. But I love to hear that optimism, Philip. I do love to hear that optimism.
I keep moving up. I'm now top 4.
Move up every day.
I absolutely love it. And look, Philip, you're half to blame for my delusional. You know that, because when I do want to come back down to reality, Philip just drops in this line and gets me going again. You're to blame, Philip.
Oh well. Anyway, listen. Isn't it better that way than going around with a puss on you and moaning and groaning about everything? Like we've had so many days where we've sat that and we've been below Arsenal, below Chelsea, below everyone, and we've nothing to smile about. We've got plenty to smile about now, so let's do it.
Exactly. Look, just smile. Well, I'll be smiling until Wednesday, until Ireland put me in a bad mood, maybe, Philip. But as soon as I've had an hour after that game to digest what happened, I'll be back smiling again, thinking about that.
That's the way to do it.
But Philip, we've been an absolute blinder of a guest again. Absolutely love it. And look, I know the people are already looking forward to your show with Ellie. Maybe is there anything you'd like to add that Ellie maybe forgot or anything?
Yeah, I was doing a bit of research on it today, actually, and I came up with some. I won't spoil the surprise now, but my God, some of the quirky things that have happened to Spurs over the years. You would not believe it. And there's one very, very interesting thing that Arsenal were asked to do after Spurs did them a favour way back. And you won't believe it, but I'll keep it for the show. That's whet your appetite now. You know, if the Arsenal fans knew it, they'd be demanding change. I'll tell you that. If they knew what this was, you know, and it's still current. Whatever this happened over 100 years ago, and it's still in force.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I definitely can't wait to hear that. And I swear to God, people, I don't know what it is. Philip's even keeping it from me. I absolutely love that. And Bob, piss off. We're only having a laugh with you, my man. We're only bantering you. It's a bit of banter, my man. Come on. Cheer up, Bob. We're top of the league, Bobby. We're top of the league. Well, Philip, absolutely brilliant. Great guest. I really appreciate your time today, my man. I appreciate you every time you come on.
Pleasure. Right, listen, see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
Two things. Come on, you Spurs, and come on, Ireland.
Come on. Let's have it, Philip. Absolutely love it. But Philip, I'll see you again soon, my man. Thank you so much.
Pick up, Philip.
See you, Philip. Absolute brilliant. Jack, you know, we haven't had as many guests as usual, which is, you know, maybe a little bit of light relief tonight because usually we're going till 12:30, 1 in the morning on these fan shows.
The last one was 3.5 or whatever it was.
You have the in-laws today, so I think maybe people realise you have the in-laws and they're like, no, we don't want to get Jacko in trouble, you know. So, no, I absolutely love it. But everybody, I think it's been a great show. Jack, what do you think?
No, it's been a top-class show. Everybody was honestly perfect in the way that they called in, from Brad Matthews to Ellie. Honestly, Chris was, you know, the comedian as per usual. Yeah. Also Philip as well, you know, is top class. You know, David, unless I'm missing anybody, we honestly had a top world-class lineup as always. You know, the Harris Army, you know, they never failed to deliver. You know, it's honestly the fan shows, you might say, you know, in terms of, you know, the quality of, you know, the fan shows, you know, and the fans that we bring in, David, honestly, it's top analysis. You know, it's top banter as well. You know, it even keeps us a bit in check, David. You know, they kind of give us even a bit of the new material even every week as well.
No, look, it's absolutely brilliant. For some reason, we've been lucky, Jack. We tend to attract the characters, and you know, long may it continue. We've been very lucky. But look, it's a show I love. It's one of my favorite. We actually get to meet the Harris Army. I would like to get to meet more though. So guys, if you're out there and you know maybe you're thinking about coming on and you haven't, what I'd say to you is just do your first appearance. Whether it's my channel, Bob Spur TV, Will Stewart, you know, any other channel. It doesn't matter. Get on. And once you do it, you'll get the bug for it and we won't be able to shut you up. I can guarantee you that. You know, I've been the same. I've got on. No one's been able to shut me up, you know, and it's been absolutely brilliant. So, guys, you know, I want to see more of you on here next week. Ben Dallo, you know, a channel member earlier on. I want to see you on next week. That's who I want on next week. So, Ben, don't be skipping. Guys, tomorrow, in terms of tomorrow, so... good man, Bob. Good. I'm glad. Good man, Bob. I love it. No, look, in terms of tomorrow, so guys, look, me and Jack are feeling. I'm covering for Matty tomorrow from. I think it's from 5 till 6 on the transfer deadline, just to give him an hour, and then I'm back on for the last hour tomorrow night. Jack, you're on at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So, guys, you know you don't want to miss that. Jack is your guy. Jack is the man. You know when it comes to players and everything else. So get Jack, you know, make sure you tune in at 2 p.m. on the Matt Hayes mother of all streams tomorrow. I don't even know how many hours he's doing, but he's doing a lot of hours. I think he's covering it more or less all day, the crazy man. But guys, make sure you do get over and check that out tomorrow. You will see me on there twice. You'll see Jack on there. We'll also be on Henry Wright TV tomorrow from 7 till 9 as well. So made the two of us as a duo, which is nice. The two of us being asked together, been brilliant. I'm delighted with that. So, guys, make sure you come over and get follow us on that, you know, on Henry's stream as well. You can give Matt and Henry the support. And, look, leave it with me. I'm not sure whether I will have something on tomorrow, but I might be back tomorrow evening with a little roundup of the window, maybe a 45 minutes or an hour or something like that. Look, tomorrow we've been asked to be on so many channels and stuff like that. So, tomorrow it's more of getting out there, you know, getting on the channels and stuff like that. But hopefully we can get back here tomorrow evening and have a stream. But if not, tune in Wednesday for me watching Ireland versus Portugal on Wednesday, guys. Sure to be an absolute cracker. Look, I'm not holding out much hope. Actually, I'm going to lie. I think we can get a draw. I think we can draw with Portugal. I'm going to hold out that hope. We don't score, but if we can get a 0-0 draw, I'll be absolutely delighted. But either way, guys, tune in. Make sure you tune in for the watch along. Look, if Jack wants to join and be bored by Ireland, more than welcome. I'm actually going to ask Philip see if he wants to join as well. But no, that sure should be a good game, guys. Well, not a good game for Ireland, but should be fun to watch. You might see me lose my shit over Duffy and maybe see what nicknames I have for some of these Irish players. Hey, look, Jack, why don't you plug the new channel, my man?
No, absolutely, David. I'm going to put the link in the chat here for anybody that is new to Flat Cap Euro Talk. David and I just came out with our Premier League table predictions. David and I built out our Premier League tables from bottom to top, relegation, to top of the league. So if you want to have any clue on, who David thinks is actually going to be winning the league this season, you still get, a bit of the delusional side of us, in terms of our predictions, but as well as, you get to see what David thinks, on the likes of Aston Villa. What does David think of Newcastle this season? Every team David gives, his opinions on. So it is a very interesting one. David and I build out our tables from the very top to the very bottom. So I really would check that one out. I know it's an absolute cracker. I think we also time managed it quite well. We didn't waste any time, but we certainly, didn't also, brush past anything too quickly. I think it was well covered, well researched by David as well. Did like a lot of his picks. I was convinced on plenty of them. So please check it out. It's again, David and I built out our Premier League table. So if you're interested in what we have to say about the other teams in the Premier League, can't miss that video. What do you say, Dave?
No, look, I'll be honest with you. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good stream, very well put together. It was efficient on time without letting, me babble on too long or you babble on too much about a team. It was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was very good. Look, tune in, find out who I think is going to miss out on top four at our expense. Find out who I think is going to get relegated and find out, where I think Arsenal are going to finish and why. I think I've made some pretty good points. Mine and Jack's table, it varies a little, especially in that middle part. So, guys, get over there and sort out the debate. I have a $5 bet with Jack that my league is going to come true. Jack thinks his league is going to come true. But look, guys, get over there, check it out, and settle the debate. Dave's league or Jack's league? I want to know. And look, we've plenty more content coming out. This is the start of it. Brilliant content today, I have to say. I really, really did enjoy it. So make sure you do get over there and check it out, guys. As always, smash that subscribe button up. Think about it, like it's an Arsenal fan, you know what I mean? Or your missus in some sexy lingerie. I don't care. Just absolutely destroy that like button. That's what I say to you. Faz Radfar, one more quality player will be a good window or two. Look, I would like, plus Emerson, I would like to see one more in.
If you're including Emerson, I would say plus one more. If you're not including Emerson, I would say two.
Yeah, I think it would be a good window. Look, obviously, people would hope for more, for better. I get it, but look, we'll wait and see what the season has to hold. And look, everyone's going to have strong opinions on this window. Everybody, so it'll be very interesting. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day to see what Spurs fans make of the window. You're going to have some that completely. Not a fan of the window. You're going to have some people that are over the moon in the window, and then you're going to have some people a bit like me and Jack who maybe are a little bit in between. So it'll be an interesting day tomorrow. But big up, Faz. No super chat today to spark an absolute all-out debate, Faz. Disappointed today. Disappointed. Usually you have some great questions. But no, I appreciate the support, Fazzy. Keep it up, my man. A lazy 8, Nick. Hope things are well. He says, have a well-deserved early Monday night, lads. Well-deserved one day to see Paratici earn the Don tag. Come on, you Spurs. No, look, I appreciate it. I don't actually know what to do now for the next hour or two. You know what I mean? I might chill out, play a bit of FIFA. I don't know what I'll do. Who knows? Look, it's like Step Brothers, So much room for activities. I just don't know what to be doing, Nick, to be honest with you. Yes, well, we'll see what to do. Look, if Jack can maybe sneak away, I might challenge him to a game of FIFA. We'll wait and see. Nicky boy. But Nick, look, disappointed not to see you on today. Hope we can get you on during the week, or if not, back on next Monday. I do like you coming on, and I hope to see you again on it, my man. Jack, do you want to say that to Nick? I know he's your boy from Brooklyn.
No, absolutely, Nick. I really was. We're always kind of a bit missing you. I will say, we do kind of think, when is Nick going to be coming on? He likes to come on towards the end, David. So I thought he was going to make a bit of an appearance. So it would be actually nice to have Nick, but maybe next time, Nick. Maybe next time, it'd be good to have you. I do hope you enjoyed your vacation up in Connecticut as well, up north. But yeah, Nick, really hope to see you around. And also as well, Nick, eventually, maybe when I'm not doing a watch along or when we have a bit of time, love to, meet up with you over in Manhattan side, for a game, to watch it in the pub as well, Nick. So really would hope to meet up with you at some point as well, but really do appreciate the support as always.
There you are, Nick. Look, Jack's going to start the Irish Hotspur Brooklyn supporters group. You and Jack can be co-founders, lad. That's what I'm going to say. You and Jack are the co-founders of the Irish Hotspur Brooklyn supporters group. And look, I do hope you and Jack get together and watch a match. I really do. It'd make my day 100%. Just like when Cody got to meet up with Brian Dagan and Brian Ireland, it's good to see these relationships that have been formed over YouTube and in the Spurs family, and people getting to see each other and all. So it'd be brilliant, Nick. So I hope you can make it happen. And look, I'm not going to lie, Jack. I'd say Nick is a right laugh with a few drinks in him. That's my point of view. Definitely, I do think he is a good laugh. So big up, Nick. Really appreciate it. Oh, Ellie, I really, really appreciate this, Ellie.
Wow, Ellie.
Really, really appreciate it. Honestly, you're way too kind to me and Jack. I keep telling you, you're way too nice to us, and I really, really do appreciate it. Says Philip THFC, Grandmaster with the charm, the wit, but most of all, the incredible knowledge. Here's a question, lads. Do you think Paratici has red-taped Levy? Jack?
Do I think Paratici has red-taped Levy? I don't really understand how, Levy could even be red-taped by anyone, I must say, Ellie, as much as I would like that to be, the case, I think it's Levy that does the red taping, David. It is Levy that owns the red tape. It is the one. He tells people what, they can and cannot do. But honestly, I am, quite excited about, the signings that could be coming in, quite excited, but, Emerson is coming in. It does seem like, Paratici is just giving Levy, a bit different types of signings. And he's probably even convinced him, listen, if we sign this many players under 23, we could become, practically the new Dortmund, kind of team where we can almost go for that Dortmund kind of, philosophy of buying, the young big players that are up and coming and then sell them on for big prices as well. So that's probably what Paratici maybe is convincing him, of. Would I say he's red taped him? No, but I would say maybe he has him a bit under a Paratici spell, and who wouldn't love that?
I'll be honest with you. Everyone knows I'm a little bit stupid, so I need to be explained what red tape, what this comment
I think if I understand it correctly, David, it's kind of like saying, you can't do something. It's like, basically putting, like a stop sign in front of something.
In the line, like shifting the goalpost.
Yeah, red tape. Yeah. Like, you can't cross, you can't do it. You're not allowed to, not permitted, Do
you think Paratici has red taped Levy? If I have the understanding of red tape correct, I think it would be the other way around. Levy red taping Paratici from doing the business. Look, I hope. I'll be honest, I'm not going to really comment because I don't really actually fully understand the super chat. So, Jack, maybe you want to add a bit more on my behalf.
I think all she's saying, David, is do you feel like Paratici, is capable of let's say making it difficult for Levy to say no to some of these signings, like as Paratici basically tied up Levy in a chair and has made him say yes to everything he does. So he says, hey, I'm getting in Mariba, you need to sign Mariba. Levy says, of course, Mr. Paratici. Yeah, that's basically I think what she's saying is does Paratici have Levy under his will, or does even Paratici have a Levy red taped? It's a bit interesting. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that, phrase, but I think that's what she means.
Okay, so remember I was telling people this story before about, Daniel Levy walking in with all the big wigs, wait there, they're all sitting there talking about their signings. And then Daniel Levy's walking in and he's saying, wait there, lads, get the cock in hands for this one. I have a cracking story to tell you, right? You know what I mean? Well, what I'd say on this one is that, Daniel Levy's absolutely loving the business that Paratici is making it impossible for Levy to reject the business, in my opinion. Look, if you're Paratici and you're going to Daniel Levy and saying, Galini Atlanta, what's your thoughts? And then, Levy's like, oh, yeah, good player, good keeper, I'd like him. And he goes, okay, so, 15 million payable in 2 years' time, unless he plays so many things. Paratici's going to be loving it, right? You go to him with Romero. Okay, so we're going to bring an Italian Serie A defender of the year. and we don't have to pay for it till next summer. And then he says, okay, we're going to bring in Galini, 20 mil plus Lamella. Honestly, Daniel Levy is walking back in. He's rounding up Abramovich, the Glazers, the sheikhs from City. He's rounding them all in. Again, he's walking in, lads. Get the cocks in the hand. Get the flutes in the hand. Listen to this. Of course, Daniel Levy's absolutely loving the business. He's absolutely loving the business that Paratici is bringing him. He's loving it. It's a Levy sort of deal. Even Levy. Even Levy probably couldn't envision, you know what I mean, how he structured these deals. Daniel Levy's probably looking at him and like, you are a genius. You know what I mean? He sings to Daniel Levy. That's music to Daniel Levy, that Jack. Of course he's red taping Levy to try and say no to some of these.
No, he probably has a couple, transfer, Italian songs, some Italian cantos, as they probably would say, for him. But yeah, honestly, he probably is, whispering in his ear, maybe he just knows how to get, tickle Levy in the right ways, tickle his pocket, in the right directions. So maybe that's it. That's all it is. Maybe Paratici is just speaking to him somehow. But I think we're getting a little off, the train here, David. We're probably being a bit too optimistic here, but, top of the league, all these beautiful signings, coming in through the door, nice, young and fresh, promising, it is maybe the right case, to be a bit optimistic, be a bit delusional for sure.
No, look, I always say it to everybody, always be optimistic and always stay delusional. That's what I say. So look, guys, it's been an absolute great stream. Thoroughly enjoyed it. One of my favorite of the week, I have to say. Make sure you do smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Big up the Harris Army for the support, the Flat Cap Army, the Dave Army. Big up everyone for the super chats and the support in that regard. You have no idea how much it really does help the channel. Big up all the guests for coming on. A massive thank you to Jack for taking time out of the day today, even though, he's probably going to get grounded after this stream now by the missus. But big yourself up. Really do appreciate it. Ellie doesn't want us to go. Ellie's having too much fun. She says, it's not the top of the morning, it's the top of the league to you. Isn't it just brilliant? The Goona Scum are bottom of the league. Oh, my God, it's my dream coming true. And long may it go on. Look, it's beautiful. Honestly, the first thing when I woke up this morning, before I even opened my eyes, straight away it popped into my head and it was just sitting there. I was like, we're top of the league. Absolutely buzzing. It just brought a big smile to my face, Ellie. It meant I could go about my day. I'm not going to lie, I was walking around whistling. I had an extra Weetabix in my bowl this morning, had one extra Weetabix, an extra sprinkle of sugar. I just had that pep in my step, you know what I mean? I was absolutely loving life, and I still am. I still am loving it today. I'm going to love it tomorrow. I'm going to love it for the next 2 weeks, and even longer because we're going to beat Palace, so I'm going to love it for the next 3 weeks.
I love that, David. Yeah, honestly, it's brilliant, to have that top of the league flow, kind of going for us, maybe even get a top of the league haircut, could be nice as well. Looking fresh and proper, with the Spurs kit on, because, we've gone from, being embarrassed, practically to wear the kit in public to now, being the proudest people, around, wearing our kit. So honestly, I love this transformation of attitude, of culture that we're kind of going through. So really, really, really loving it. And as well, who doesn't love to see, honestly, when we thought we had a bad season, a lot of us were really down in the muck, really thinking it was the worst season of all, thinking it was one of the worst seasons of our history, which, could be actually true when you consider it. But now seeing, the likes of Arsenal in this sort of scenario, you really do think to yourself, maybe we do have it a bit better off than others. Not to say that we should be humble. Not to say that we should be humble. We've been plenty humble for plenty of time, but this is, this is all that we deserve, Dave. This is absolutely what we deserve.
No, look, Jack, they always say the cream rises to the top. Isn't that what they say, lad? And Ellie, look, it's definitely one dream I don't want to wake up from. Harris Army, over and out. In Nuno we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. In Nuno we trust.
Check out Flatcapeurotalk.